young man vanishes, and something about it doesn't sit right.
It made no sense.
I'm Rob Bergen. Join me for What Became of Jack, the new season of Unravel.
You know where my son is.
Search for the Unravel podcast on ABC Listen.
ABC Sport.
We begin this broadcast by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which this match will be played today and pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. We extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples listening.
Boy, we're going to have some fun.
The AFL in 2026 on ABC Sport.
When the siren sounds. Here we go. Listen to the roar. It is showtime.
You take a seat because it don't get better than this.
Right to the goal line. Jamie Elliott, the man who gravity forgot.
That's why we love AFL football.
On ABC Sport, this is the AFL.
Sit back, relax, witness the greatest. It don't get better than this.
From 45 and rides it all the way home.
An ambitious effort. Unbelievable.
The left foot is a goal. Oh, yeah.
Take a seat because it don't get better than this.
Throws it, kicks on goal. The prancing pony.
What a goal.
He's off and running from 45 to get the party started.
Take a seat because it don't get better than this.
It's bouncing, it's through. Bailey Smith, he'll want the cameras on him right now.
Night camera action, baby. Countdown to contact.
Spins around and buries it. Loads up from 55. That's a monster bomb.
40 metres out, snaps towards goal. What a beautiful finish.
Bacon goal square, goes for glory.
He eyes the goals and sends it home.
100% pure footy. Every minute of every match, all season long.
Gathers, snaps, goal.
It's just football at its best.
Take a seat because it don't get better than this.
Kick on goal, dribbles it through. What about that? Took them all on and said, I'll have some of this.
Bailey pinches his pocket and bang, bang, bang. That's the price you pay against the Premier.
Watson snaps. Oh, Watson puts it through. And the Wizard arrives precisely on time. He's built for the big stage. On his left boot, his kick is good.
Inside 50, off a step, turns and goes bang. And snap.
And goal.
There's some bravery through the middle of the ground.
How good is that? What a goal. He wastes no time. He whacks it through for another. It doesn't have to be your night, but it can be your moment. Hands it to Charlie Cameron. He can walk it in. Show him your tail lights, Charlie.
Welcome to ABC Sports coverage of the 2026 AFL Premiership season.
Runs the 50 out. What a way to finish.
On radio
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
and ABC Listen.
You take a seat because it don't get better than this.
Cairns Oval in Bunbury in the southwest of Western Australia. It is the home of the Southwest Footy League Grand Final, the home of the red and white South Bunbury Tigers. And today it's home to AFL footy. North Melbourne and Fremantle as round 13 rolls on. The top of the table, Dockers up against the resurgent Kangas, trying to make it 6 wins on the year. A set of home games that North Melbourne have sold to the West Australian government. They'll split them, one in Bunbury, the one next week to be played up in town at Perth Stadium. Bunbury, about 170 kilometres south of Perth. The stadium holds around 12,000 people. It's the second time that we'll play for premiership points at Hands Oval. My name's Corbin Middlemass. It is Saturday footy on ABC Sport. The whole gang's here. There are no late changes. The head of the Kangas and the Dockers. Fremantle made 3 at selection. Big ins too, with Hayden Young returning, O'Meara and McDonald come back in. So 5 30-year-olds in the Fremantle team, the first time they've done that since 2018. Meanwhile, for North Melbourne, Zach Fisher earns a recall as young Finn O'Sullivan, unfortunately, out concussed. Ben Cameron's alongside me to call the footy. Hello, Ben.
Hello, Corbin. Great to be here as always. I like the Fremantle banner today as well. Playing north from the east in the south of the west. So north, south, east and west, all covered. It is Hands Oval. Maybe when North Melbourne play here, they could rebrand it. Hearts to Hearts and Hands to Hands Oval. Given their song, not my best work off the top, but Fremantle an 11-game winning streak. You feel like they're going to have an off week at some point. Is it today, and do we get a game?
0437 774 774, the SMS number. Keen to hear from you throughout the day as the Dockers hit the ground. They're wearing their purple jumper with the white chevrons and the white shorts. A little more on the history of the South Bunbury Tigers. Not often you have a Tigers in any footy competition wearing red and white, but they do that to the reworded Collingwood theme song. Sid Jackson actually played for South Bunbury back in the day.
Richard Goyder's one of Richard Goyder's favourite players, Sid Jackson.
They were the famous number 5, of course, from the Carlton Football Club, Ken Hunter. Leon Baker, the star, of course, of Essendon's famous premiership teams in 84 and 85, all playing plenty of footy with South Bunbury over the years. So a shout-out to all of them. And, of course, the late Adam Hunter, who, of course, played for the West Coast Eagles and part of their premiership in 2006. All right, Saturday afternoon footy means one man. He's with us on ABC Sport, as always, holding it down, the youngest Essendon premiership player on planet Earth, Adam Ramanauskas. Hello, Ram.
Good afternoon to everybody, and I love this. I think it's great to take the game to different parts of the country. The ground looks an absolute picture. The facilities look absolutely terrific. It's just a little bit different seeing Fremantle in the white shorts, obviously over in Western Australia. But I'm actually really looking forward to Fremantle. They've been a juggernaut, I think, in the first half of this season. They look an incredibly balanced team. And who knows what could happen. They're in a really strong position. But I think it's a great challenge for North Melbourne also today. So, again, up against another contender. Last time we saw them, Corb, that was against Gold Coast when they came back from 43 points down. So, again, they've got to be able to play well against the better teams, North Melbourne, to show real progress, in my opinion.
The premiership pie, Luke Ball, is here. Bally, we get to see the top of the table team, the Fremantle Dockers, winners of 11 in a row. And this week, for just the third time in club history, they became premiership favourites.
Yeah, well, it's dominant, isn't it? 11 in a row in this competition, the way it's set up, structured, and you've got to have some luck with that too. You've got to have a good run of injury, but it's just been so impressive the way they've been able to do it across the three phases of the game, and they are rightfully, albeit the question mark still lingers over their ability to do it in the finals. Well, we'll see. When that happens down the track, they can't do anything about that now. But for now, they've got their game in such good order, Rammer, and lots been spoken about their stars, Benny, and they're getting really great service out of Luke Jackson, and love the year that Shea Bolton's having, and young Murphy Reid is emerging, isn't he? But I'm looking forward to watching some of these lesser like these role type players today, which Mick Malthouse is big on. The premiership teams, you need your bottom six to be able to absolutely play their role. We saw it last night with the Bulldogs win, and players like Erasmus and Warner and these sort of type of players who don't get the credit, and I'm sure, without knowing, probably are happy not to. I'm sure that, and I've heard Justin Longmuir talk about it as well, that they're very highly regarded and rewarded internally at the club. So, agree, Rammer. Looking forward to watching the top team in the comp play today. And from the Kangaroos' point of view, well, this is an opportunity, isn't it? So they come off a week off, a freshen up, an opportunity to test your wares against the benchmark in the competition at the moment. So, I think we feel like they're probably a little bit off that. But this is a team who, with the top 10 this year and a start that they had, should really be aiming to get back into that conversation and into that mix. So, terrific win against the Gold Coast, who we think are a really good team in this competition as well. So they should get plenty of belief out of that. And no reason why they couldn't go over there today, a home game, but go over to Perth and give it a good shake today, Ben.
Just some of the numbers around Hands Oval as well. So 175 metres by 135. So it's actually 10 metres longer than Perth Stadium and 5 metres wider. So any adjustments you have to make as a player and as a team?
Run a little bit further.
Biggest ground in the comp then?
Be up there.
I think pretty close, probably is.
I think hands down it is.
Yeah, hands down. Traditionally, we do have bigger grounds in WA, don't we? Mick Malthouse speaks about, sometimes there's just little changes with how you enter inside 50.
Well, it's where your launch zone becomes. That's what it really is. So, rather than just forward or centre, you're actually probably 10 metres further where you've got to run the ball. So, that's those shallow entries versus deep entries going inside forward 50. But also then when you're exiting as well, like if it is a shallow exit, you can be in real trouble. quickly. So, yeah, there is a little bit of a difference, but it does. Like we're playing at Subiaco. We knew we were running further.
Yeah.
Absolutely knew.
And
had to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you think about the Freo's three-prong tall attack. I think it lends itself to that a bit. You'll see, different stages. All of them get up the ground a bit, won't we? We'll see Tracy get up the ground and Voss will be interesting to see whether there's a role for him today. Probably not. We saw him do it against Wilkie, didn't we? And be so disciplined doing that. And Jai Miss is having a terrific year as well. So there's plenty of room for forwards to get on their bike and move and come up the ground, as you said, for that exit kick onto the wings today, but also get to work inside 50. So, looking forward to watching that Freo forward line operate today as well.
Is there something in it, Corb, with... You mentioned grounds in Perth are generally bigger. Or was that you, Benny? Sorry, mate. Yeah. Is there something... Why? Is there a why to that? Do we know?
It's the big state. We've got more room in WA, so we have more space to put big footy grounds.
A bit like Texas. Everything's bigger in WA. Everything's bigger. A couple off the SMS, by the way, coming through. So at Hands Oval, been in line for nearly... an hour and still nowhere near getting into the ground. It's ridiculous. Only 2 gates open and lines barely moving. They knew how many tickets were sold. A different SMS coming through. Hello, gents. Chaos down here at Hands Oval. We will struggle to see the start from John in South Bunbury. So
lots of grass, not enough turnstiles, as it turns out.
That's not ideal at all. The other little bit of local knowledge to just to point out here. So if you are watching along on TV this game this afternoon, and you're looking at the pictures. Far side of the ground, left of screen, the locals tell me dead pocket. So if you play enough footy, if you play enough here at Hands Oval, and you know all about this round, but not so much your dead pocket where you struggle to shoot from, but the ball will get, because of the prevailing wind, the ball will get stuck there underneath the scoreboard. So left forward pocket, right forward pocket, left of screen. That is going to be a little bit of an issue for the teams, and I'm sure that the coaches will be aware of that to try and keep the ball out of there as best they can.
Not a windy day today, though, which is a good sign. So I think we'll see a relatively unaffected
game. Looks perfect conditions, don't we? We'll get down to Ray in a second, but looks perfect conditions for footy today. And you mentioned Richard Goyder, Benny. There he is in the stands with a... Did he have a double scarf going there, or was it it looked like he was supporting both colours. He's a Freo. He's a Freo man.
He was on the Freo board.
Yeah,
He's a Freo man.
But it looked like he was supporting the Kangaroos, who's the home team today, it must be said as well. So
the game that was played here last year, by the way, 62 beat 52. So it was a low-scoring affair. North Melbourne had to kick 4 goals to 1 to come from behind in the last quarter and beat the West Coast Eagles. The Quokka is here, dressed up as in the North Melbourne colours, so a little bit of support from Tourism WA. The Quokka getting behind the notional home team in the Kangaroos. The whole gang wouldn't be complete without this man. Our near 400-game umpire, Razor Ray Chamberlain, who's officiated in 3 grand finals. He'll have plenty for us this afternoon, not just on a little bit of feel, but also, of course, how the third team out there, the men in green, go. Good afternoon to you, Razor.
G'day, Corb. G'day, boys. How are we today?
We are very well. How are you, importantly?
Fantastic. And I will say, you were talking about the size of ovals in Western Australia. You'd always head over when it was Subiaco, and we dubbed it the Hurt Locker. It was. You just do not mention it until the end of the game how big this ground is. So it certainly does have an impact.
Ray, just quickly, was it a mark last night?
Geez, they're hard ones, Benny. I think it is. I think it is a mark, but God, they're tight.
What are you looking for there?
Well, so you need to have a clear distinction between the mark being controlled, delay, and then it knocked out to award that mark. If it's simultaneous and it hasn't been controlled or it bobbles, then clearly it's play on. I don't think it's egregious. It sits right in the margins. But on review, when we get slow motions and the like, I think it's a mark.
But if it sits in the margins when you're officiating there, it's play on then, isn't it?
It's instinct, isn't it? So, and I've always gone with these sorts of things, Rammer. If it's not a hell yeah, it's an absolute no.
Which I thought was very similar to about a minute earlier to Impey down on the... So did he get a handle? Did he not? Felt like holding the ball, but it probably wasn't. So I thought it was, 50-50 to an extent there.
I reckon that's a really great one, and another example where you can draw on. You get so many of those in a game, Paulie, and again, it wasn't a hell yeah, so deferred to play on, and I really like that with officiating.
Looks like a good day, Ray. 18 degrees, not a cloud in the sky.
Absolutely gorgeous. WA turning it on.
Your thoughts throughout the afternoon, 0437 774 774. The 11-1 Dockers up against the 5-6 Kangas. North Melbourne have not won 6 games in a season since 2019.
Wow.
2019, the last time that they did that.
Oh, it's a great test.
Yeah, it is.
A really, really good test.
And look, 11 in a row, it feels a little banana peely, doesn't it, Corby? But looking forward to seeing how this ladder leader goes. In a game, on paper, they should be winning, but good opportunity for the Kangaroos to put it to them.
For just the second time, AFL footy comes to the southwest, and for just the third time, the Dockers step into a round as the premiership favourites on ABC Sport. You're with Ben Cameron.
Jackson wins down the opening tap. Bolton can't gather it. Brayshaw can. Opening clearance goes the way of the Dockers. Kicks up to half forward. No mark for Tracy. Comben spoils. Taking it, Switkowski. Kicks inside 50. Low down. Frederick gathers on the bounce. Tackled to ground. Umpire wants it. Umpires Fisher, Johansson, Heffernan and Birch in charge of this fixture. Put aloft inside 50 for the Dockers. Jackson taps it down. Young barging through off the Bolton. Left foot from the pocket. Floats it on goal. Across the goal mouth and out of bounds in the right forward pocket. Trying to come. We've played 26 seconds.
Great to see Hayden Young back into the team. Big job for Tristan Cherry today. Different challenges in it for him against Luke Jackson. Obviously Mason Cox. So
boundary throw in. Fremantle to the southern end in this opening term. Davies-Uniacke extracts it. Got a hand pass away. Clearing kick out of defence up towards the wing, and a good intercept mark from Oscar McDonald. Hits off the kick. Missing kick from Gil Stevens. Came out of defence. Short laterally to Ryan, and Ryan just chips it further afield to Young. Nice to have him back. Pokes it inside 50, turnover. And Parker with the intercept mark, the veteran. Centre half back for North Melbourne. Swings it out to the eastern wing. Over the head of Trembath, his intended target, Erasmus there, and Trembath with a follow-up. Tackles Erasmus out of play, throw in on that eastern wing.
We saw the stoppage inside forward 50 there for Fremantle. I don't like it if Harry Sheasel is playing on Shea Bolton inside forward 50 there. He's just too dangerous for Sheasel. Sheasel's a ball watcher, so Bolton should be able to get free quite easily.
Thrown on the wing. Lots of WA state government merchandise or advertising splashed around the place as North Melbourne work it down the wing and then gathered there by McKercher. Kicks up towards half forward and Trembath takes the mark.
Oh, outstanding stretch there, Benny. So Alex Pearce, terrific defender as we know. Trembath he's having a terrific season so far.
Trembath kicks towards full forward. Off the hands of the pack, bouncing ball. Ryan gathers on the last line. Handball to Wagner. Dockers, they clean it up. Murphy Reid kicks out wide. Tracy in the back pocket, trying to take the mark. Eventually ends up with the footy and kicks it shed side up to the wing. Nobody there but North. Comben back with it.
Gives a handball away to Davies-Uniacke. He retreats by hand to Logue, and he goes all the way back. Griffin Logue to Dawson.
I only mentioned that WA link, given the fact that North obviously sell this game to WA, and that's why it's being played at Hands Oval for anyone unaware.
Long kick out towards Comben, who marks high half forward. Comben looks inside the forward 50 for the Kangas. Big leap out at Larkey, no mark. Spills to Spargo. Shoots a hand pass Constanti. Handball away to Zerha, who's forward again. He snaps across the body and he misses. And that is significant in itself. It's the first time North have led a game since round 10. They won their last start, but they trailed. Obviously, in play between the sirens, they only hit the front after the final bell. So a 1-point lead for North. They've got their first score of the game 3 minutes in.
Don't need to tell us, Corby. We did that game. Corby had jumped off to go to the record-breaking game. Wasn't with us.
Well, that man kicked the goal too, and you're right, he has started forward, back into his natural habitat.
It's amazing when a team has a bye. That game feels like a month ago.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Fremantle free kick in the middle. Geordie Clark gets the handball to Bolton, to Jackson. Loops the handball to Luke McDonald, or Oscar McDonald rather, I should say. Kicks inside 50, and the mark is taken by Frederick. 45 metres out, slight angle to the left.
The captain's got to be better there. Nick Larkey just trailing in. Oscar McDonald, he gets the handball received. You see Larkey, the head down. I'm trying to chase here. Got to be much better. You've got to be in front. You've got to be goal side when the opposition has the football.
Michael Frederick, left half forward on the approach here for the Dockers. 8 goals on the season. Boots the ball from right on the arc of 50. He has flushed it. Fremantle with their first lead of the afternoon. 1 straight 6 to 1 behind. We played 4.5 minutes as the goal umpire with a zinc across the nose and the cheeks signals full points.
Are you happy with 18 degrees with zinc, or?
I think that's a bit much. At me from the goal umpire. Ray Chamberlain, what do you think about that?
And he's wearing a hat.
And sunglasses. Looks like he's at third slip for the test match.
Trying to go El Natural down there, but it was ball movement, wasn't it? Just through the middle of the ground. You're right, you can't be asleep against this Fremantle team. But with the footy back, across half-back, Hayden Young having some early touches of the footy. And then their defenders are off, aren't they? And their high forwards getting high up the ground. Frederick, who's been a really good addition back into this team. Speed, isn't it? Yeah, dangerous player and hitting the scoreboard regularly this season.
It's an old boxing expression, Rama, which is feels highly applicable to modern AFL footy, that power thrills and speed kills. And that feels like that's never more appropriate in today's footy. He's now got a goal in 6 of his last 7 games after being goalless last week against the Lions. Michael Frederick, he's kicked the first. One straight to one behind. Jackson won it down as he hit the deck to Bolton. Handball to Young. Kick to centre half forward. Hands on it. Tracy can't complete the mark. Luke McDonald locks him up and a ball up.
It's a big job for Luke McDonald, isn't it, on Tracy now. Coleman just ran off, didn't he, for the blood rule, so perhaps that's a match-up for now. I'll be isolating Tracy here on Luke McDonald. Get him in the goal square.
Cherry palms it down. Reed's kick smothered. Brayshaw had a look at it. Likewise. Spills to Switkowski. Handball to Young. Got a handball out of the attacking 50. Warner hits it and then decides to kick into the pocket. Amos the target, broken up by Logue. The boundary challenge. Jai Amos from this region, by the way. He's a Bustleton boy, so not too far from Hands Oval in Bunbury.
About 40 minutes down the road, I reckon.
Beautiful part of the world.
Yeah. Throw in forward pocket here for the Dockers. Working his way to the front, Jackson hits it to the back. Ball bobbles around. Caleb Daniel picks it up for North, gives it off to Stevens. On to Luke McDonald. He'll kick to the wing. Up towards the contest for North, and a good juggled mark. Coming down with the footy in the end, Bull Zerha.
He's pretty keen to stay forward, I think, isn't he?
Yeah.
Every time he...
Well, that second half against Gold Coast,
right.
he was terrific.
Yeah. He wants to make sure he never spends any time back of centre again.
Freo by 5 points. We played nearly 7 minutes opening term.
McKercher and Sheasel both get a lick of it. Goes all the way back to Logue, and they switch play out to that eastern wing. Here's Dawson. Short kicking game finds Stevens. 5-point lead for the Dockers. I don't want to go long down the line because, as we know, that's the dead pocket out there, that right forward pocket. Left of screen where the Kangas are attacking. The northern end, that's a shocker. Hardiman chipped it short, trying to get it to Logue. Switkowski breaks it up. He takes a bounce, strolls into goal and makes them pay. These zippy Dockers just burn you on the turnover. And Sam Switkowski hunting that errant kick from Hardiman. And North Melbourne pay the full toll there. 2 straight to 1 behind. Another turnover goal for Freo. They lead by 11, 8 minutes in.
Well, we talk about a lot, Paulie and I, about the T space there. And Switkowski, he knew he had the speed to get there, but Hardiman's kick, it wasn't fast enough.
Poor kick.
It just looped. It just looped that kick, and it gave Switkowski enough time. Then, you're not catching him. He's away to the races and a goal, but it's the discipline of this Fremantle team. I think a lot of people talk about the talent in the team, but they're just set up incredibly well there. Every player was right up at the kick line where you can go and then impact, which Switkowski did.
Jackson over the top of Sherry, brings it down. It lands in his lap while he's sitting on the ground like a baby. Gives it out to Bolton, who gives it to the run of Clark through the logo. Flicks a handball forward to Brayshaw, forward of the wing. Floater into the pocket, looking for Frederick. Hands to it. Doesn't mark. Logue, the former Docker, takes it. Coughs it up momentarily, holding the ball.
Well, early days here, but they've got some issues at stoppage, the Kangaroos. It's twice Luke Jackson. You can see he's going to have a field day. Twice been able to handball to a teammate. As you said, Benny, sitting on his back.
O'Meara kicks into the pocket and leading out Pat Voss. He clattered into Sheasel, a 50-metre penalty. Voss with some early antics there. Ray Chamberlain, you happy with that 50?
Always a good sign is when you see the teammates, how do they respond? Are they unhappy or not? You'll see here that there's the mark and he's just tucked up with his hip and shoulder. There's no attempt on the ball, definite 50.
Freo with the opening 2 goals of the game. They lead 2 straight 12-1 behind.
Fisher trying to scoop it up at half-back for the Kangas. Got a handball away towards, half-forward for the Kangas. Handball to Brayshaw is shumped out of bounds. Is it just a free kick, Ray, or has he got anything to worry about there, Paddy Voss?
No, I'll have a look at it. Not enough force from line rail. Put my old MRO hat on there. Free kicks enough. 50.
Well, Ball is the most qualified in this, but I'd agree with him.
Speaking of the MRO, by the way, Michael Christians from Bustleton. He hails from this part of the world, another southwest of Western Australia product. From the boundary throw in, the Dockers win it at the coalface. Erasmus, handball away to Bolton, gives it to Jackson, who sold the dummy. Kicks down to half forward, Voss with the torn jumper. Outmarks Luke McDonald, 60 metres from goal. Dabs it inside 50, Tracy. The best contested mark in the game, shows us why. He's got it at right half forward.
But that's a perfect example to any young kid. So Voss has taken the mark, but Tracy's timed the lead, and he's come at him just on a slight angle. So it's always hard for a kicker to kick it, straight, dead accurate. Slight angle, he can just, Voss then just hangs the ball out. Tracy gets up. It's impossible to get in front of him now as a defender.
So Josh Tracy in that channel at right half forward, kicks him right on 50, sprays it wildly. In the end, he doesn't score. Out of bounds on the full. 11-point lead for the Dockers. They've kicked the only 2 goals after 10 minutes. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Daniel brings it back into play across the goal mouth to the opposite back pocket for Parker, who gets it onto Sheasel. Kanga's in there. Defensive 50. Parker kicks into the middle of the ground. Chopped off by Tracy. Brings it to ground. The Dockers are everywhere. Sukowski, he's stripped of it in a tackle. Allows the Roos back in. Spargo goes in low. And a ball up. 51 out from the attacking goal for the Dockers at the southern end.
Look, it was the right kick. It was there. Just Fremantle's defence is on in this first quarter.
Cox taps it down to Erasmus. To Bolton. Zigs, then zags back into traffic. Caught by Wardlaw. Holding the ball and a Kangas free kick. Centre half back. Dockers by 11 points. We've played 11 minutes in the opening term.
Spargo receives it, gives a handball to Daniels straight up the pipe. Go the Rouge. Short kick to Curtis. Hand pass back to Daniel, who's involved again. Hands it away to LDU. Kicks inside the forward 50. Got Delaki on the half volley. Couldn't trap it. Trembath toe pokes it through. It tis the season. With the World Cup around the corner, Trembath just soccers it into the back of the net, and the Kangas have their first of the game. 1-1-7. Fremantle 2 straight 12. The Dockers by 5 points. We're a dozen minutes in. This is Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Well, that's great ball use, isn't it? And a couple of times they've made a mistake early here. They've gone sideways and backwards, and it's just invited that pressure that you've spoken about, Rammer, from those Fremantle forwards. But that time they're able to go forward. I like that from the Kangaroos today. By hand and by foot, keep the ball in motion. I thought Trembath was free, wasn't he? And Davis Unak should have found him.
LDU should have kicked the goal.
Yeah, or kicked the goal. That's right. Elected to go for the skipper, but Trembath was good enough to, as you say, Corby, exercise some of those World Cup soccer skills. Yeah. Important goal there for the Kangaroos. All started from the tackle from Wardlaw as well, because the Dockers have been all over them at clearance here early on.
Sunday week, the Football Roos, first time out against Turkey.
Can't wait.
Up we go in the middle. Trembath in the ruck, goes really early, jumps into Mason Cox. It comes down from McKercher. Zipping out of the middle for the Roos. Kicks inside 50, shallow entry. Looking for Comben, who's gone forward. Spoiled away from him. Larkin back, spoiled away there by McDonald. That's Oscar, and then in the end it's ricocheted off a Fremantle boot, has it? Yes.
I thought it did. Judd McVee's trying to pull one over the umpire's eyes here. He's claimed it, but definitely came off his leg.
So Constanti with the free kick.
They're the ones we've got to throw in, Ben.
Yeah, I agree with that. Wide out half forward for the Kangas. Kicks to the hot spot. Trembath launching free kick. Larky got bundled out of the way by Mason Cox.
He needs this, Larky.
Yeah, he does. Been a bit out of sorts.
Yeah.
Skip up.
Well, he's usually beautiful timing with his leads, beautiful hands, dead accurate kick, as we know. Just feels like the last month he's been just, as Paulie mentioned, just out of sorts.
Big Mason just a little bit clumsy there.
A little bit clumsy.
That's there.
More than a little bit.
Silly.
Clumsy. Silly. Nick Larky. Only goalless once this year. He won't be goalless today. And North Melbourne hit the front. 2-1-13 plays 2 straight 12. 14 minutes into the opening stanza before Adam Ramanauskas and Luke Ball. Ray Chamberlain.
You talk about clumsy in relation to that last marking contest. Centre bounce when you get those second hitters in the second type of ruckman. We had Trembath and Cox contesting that ball, and there's a missed free kick in the centre of the ground. Goes early, hits the ground before going for the ball. Real tough one for the umpires, but when you get those second hitters in there, you've got to have your antenna up.
He's got some serious hops, Cooper Trembath, hasn't he? They're liking him as that second ruck option there. Even then, he flew for that contest, and Mason Cox just way too early and overzealous with that body contact. So Nick Larkey gets on the board. Let's see if that can spark a bit of momentum in his game.
28 today, Nick Larkey. So goal for the birthday boy in the opening term. Kangas by a point. Clearing kick out of the middle, Tremba up the ruckman, and it's picked off though as Driscoll takes the intercept mark. Man they call Noddy. Nathan O'Driscoll, defensive side of the wing. Long kick down to half forward. Logue breaks it up, hits the deck, taken by Parker. A little 1-2 out of there with Constanti, and the short kick up over the wing finds Larkey. Lays a hand pass back to Parker, keeps on moving, high half forward, kicks the inside 50. Curtis is out the back, controls it in the forward pocket. Hand pass inboard to Simpkin. Simpkin caught. Great chase down tackle O'Driscoll, who followed up and wins possession back for Freo on the last line. The Kangas by a point almost halfway through this opening term.
Did a great interview with Mitch Turner on Extra Time in WA during the week. Nathan O'Driscoll speaking about his mental health challenges. He's opened up about that recently. The Dockers quickly work it down the eastern wing. Hayden Young ends up with the football. Cuts back infield, sweeping handball. Dudley takes it and goes. Takes a bounce. Gets towards the attacking edge of the square. Feeds Murphy Reid. From 51 out, fires on goal. It's offline. Frederick! He bobs up and marks alongside the behind post. And Fremantle went whooshka.
Yeah, they did. And that's just elite running from Murphy Reid. He just powered past. It was Colby McKercher, interestingly. Graham, we'll have a look at this again. We know how fast Colby can be running downhill towards goal. He won't want to see that because Murphy Reid started behind him on the wing, ran straight past him, got involved 2 or 3 times. Wasn't meant for Frederick, but got there in the end.
Pass, Freddie. Misses. A little narrow on the snap. We speak about the similarities between Colby McKercher and Corbin Middlemass in terms of their looks. That looked like Corbin on the chase.
No, Corbin would have dug in, Corb. I know Corb.
Hardiman marks the kick out. And that earlier clanger goes with a long kick here up the wing. Ball slides through though to Ryan. So Freo intercept on halfway. Handball away to Brayshaw. His hand pass looking for Young. Picked up by McKercher. He's tackled. Dispossessed. Says holding the ball.
I don't mind that one. He just takes his hand straight off the ball. You've got to make an attempt.
Yeah.
I think it's the eyebrows that Colby and I have in common. I think that's where it starts and ends. As Young tries to poke it inside 50, Sheasel intercepts. Handball away to McKercher. He gives it off to Stevens. So the Kangas back with it at half-back. Short kick. Along the line finds Zerha.
That McKercher chase of Murphy Reid would frustrate the hell out of me if I was his teammate. Because it's like, well, yeah, I'll give it to you in offence whenever you want it, but when it's your turn to actually dig in and chase, you've got to do it.
Good enough for me to chase,
right.
but
yeah, you've got to do it.
Well. Scores level. Brendan Goddard used to always tell us that, and Bawley, you're a part of that St Kilda team, that your GPS numbers in that Saints team when you were really going under Ross, that your high-speed numbers or your average running speed in defence would be higher than in attack often.
Take his word for it. Yeah.
Maybe not yours specifically, but
I think Bawley's would have been. Absolutely.
Young kicks around the wing for the Dockers, up to a contest, and a free kick going to Voss. He's playing with the rip jumper.
Usually chasing Brendan's opponent.
Yeah. That's where you had to really dig in.
Clark wanted to take the advantage. It'll come back. Scores level. 2-1-13, each of 2.
Vossi's got the jumper ripped already, hasn't he? 10 minutes into the first quarter. I reckon he'll like that. Yeah. It's a real V. It's a plunging V-neck, isn't it?
It's a look at me sort of type of setup that he's got going on.
Freo started well. North have settled. First 2 goals for Freo, last 2 for North. Kicks to a contest. Tracy, the big beast that he is. The Duke's out in front. And he ends up with the mark. 25 out, tight angle right forward pocket.
You got Luke McDonald. He's fighting out of his weight class here. But he's tried everything. It should have been a free kick anyway. And Ray, we'll get down to Ray shortly. But McDonald's tried to put the arms around the waist. The body of Tracy, he's enormous at the
monster.
moment.
Comes in, the drop punt is pure as well. Good luck stopping this man in 2026. Freo, they lead by 6 again. 3-1-19 plays 2-1-13. 19 into the first. Josh Tracy, geez, a player.
Yeah, look, he is. And it's the luxury of the tall forwards. Jackson being able to play on the ball. Mason Cox is resting forward at the moment. So you really do test out the opposition's size behind the footy, but it feels like that's been the matchup from the start. It just doesn't, it's not the one, is it? Luke McDonald, who as his game and brave as there is, but he's a 6'1", or 6'2" at best. Josh Tracy, he's a man now, as you said, Rammer, so you're just too big, man.
It'd be just a lot easier to move Griffin Logue onto him and let Luke McDonald play on Jai Amos.
Now, which has just happened now. I'm looking for Comben, who went off with the blood rule. Might go down to Ray in a sec to see if he's emerged from the rooms.
As Sherry palms it down, it's a handball out towards Sheasel alongside the centre circles. Long kick inside 50. The mark's been taken by Darling, but there's a free before all of that. It's going to come back to Judd McVie, who'll get it off the back flank for Freo. So Dockers by 6 points. 3 lead changes in this opening term. Short kick to Erasmus. Top 10 pick from years ago now. Just chips it short to Bolton.
He's a bit of an underrated player, isn't he, Erasmus?
Just starting to rise. Yeah.
Forget that.
The other, I think he just struggled with the comparison. I mean, Wanganeen Miller went 11, so he was in that unenviable position where it was trying to live up to the hype and the comparison. Obviously, the guy that went 1 pick after him. And ball was turned over on the wing. Sheasel intercepts. Handball looking for Darling. Crawling out after it off his knees. Pinballs to the Kangas. Simpkin handball to Sheasel. Kicks on the outside of the boot. Trickles away to Parker. He's got a bit to do. Erasmus there to tackle him. Kick goes lateral. Picked up by Voss. Voss shakes one. A handball away to Jackson. Gets it back. Voss another handball. Forward. Erasmus hit hard. Heavy tackle in the other direction. Ball comes out. Wagner scoops it up. Gives it to Voss. He's involved again in the chain and then blows his lines at the last moment. 15 out, running into goal. Misses. Out to the left and behind. The Dockers by 7.
You're right. I think he had the celebration.
Yeah.
I think if that had gone through,
that would have been sort of Hulkamania.
He would have ripped it off.
Just rip it.
I reckon the trainers run out with a new jumper. He's waved him away. He said, no.
I've got a moment here.
This is me.
I've got a moment.
Bare-chested.
Freo by 7. A short kick into Spargo. 4th generation league footballer, and some of those in WA. West Perth, a little way from Bunbury. The kick up to the wing gathered by Darling, tackled to ground by Jackson. Ball up.
Just on Erasmus, I also think his natural position is as a midfielder.
Yeah.
So him finding a permanent position in this team has been tricky. So it's been a bit of trial and error around the edges with him.
Sherry palms it down. Little scrimmage at the moment. Murphy Reid extracts it for the Dockers. Gets it out to that man Erasmus. Off to Chapman, going backwards. Judd McVie kicks out wide. And Jackson marks, gives it to Shea Bolton. Chips it inside 50, and Voss marks.
I just want him to do it. I really want him to rip this shirt off.
He marks 47 metres out. Slight angle right of centre. Combine's back, Ray Chamberlain.
Yeah, Charlie's come back. He'll take his place back on the ground shortly, guys.
Thanks, Ray.
It's just elite stoppage work again. Fremantle, just been really impressed, Rammer. They're so sharp and clean around the clearance there to get that player out into space, and then they're always looking to handball receive, and always a big key forward coming at the kicker. That's the key.
Paddy Voss, boot to ball from 53. It's out to the right. So Fremantle extend their lead to 8 points. 23 minutes into the first term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
First of 2 games, back-to-back weeks. North have sold to the WA government, playing the 2 local teams. Parker's kick, a shocker. Reid picks it off, jumps in front of Sheasel. It should have been a short kick to the back pocket. Instead, he missed the target. And the Dockers have another chance to kick a turnover goal.
Read it like a book.
Well, this will be the 3rd kick clanger, won't it? 2 that, well, I think he'd be able to go back and kick this. And the first one was a young player in Hardham. It wasn't at that time the most experienced player on the team. Again, though, the Freo forwards awake and onto it, aren't they? Sniffing a turnover.
Like any good team, you make any mistake, they make you pay. Murphy Reid does the rest. And the Dockers have got a head of steam up now. Back-to-back goals. They lead at 4 goals to 2. It's a 14-point margin. Fremantle 4-3. North Melbourne 2-1. 24-goal on opening term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
There's 2 parts to it. So you look there. Was it on? Maybe. But if it's a maybe when you're kicking out from full back, it's not an option. It's got to be, we've got to take our medicine here. We're going to go long down the line, whether we get a restart or not. But again, I love that the pressure is coming from the Fremantle forwards. Now, Murphy Reid, you would say, nice, skillful player. But for him to be switched on and ready and pressing as the coach would want, incredible concentration there.
4 goals, 2 from turnovers. Freo already in this first quarter to 1 point from the Kangaroos. There's the game.
Been the second best opening quarter team in 2026. Fremantle won 9 of them. Colby McKercher picks it up after the ball up. It's a handball moving forward for North. Wardlaw does the same. Davies Uniacke bursts onto it, kicks from the arc at 50 and finds a leading Curtis. 30 out, slight angle left of centre. He'll go back and kick for goal.
That was just brute force, wasn't it?
Wardlaw terrific.
Yeah, just forcing the ball forward, and Davies Uniacke following up. He doesn't really want to kick long, Davies Uniacke, does he? Another opportunity there. That was a nice lowering of the eyes and finding Paul Curtis on the chest.
One of 7 players in the AFL to have kicked a goal every game this year, Paul Curtis. And that streak will not continue here. Missed it to the right. Just tugged it a little bit. Plenty of game time left to continue it. Fremantle lead by 13 points, 25 minutes into the first.
Warner brings it into Clark. Short kick, and then Clark along the line to O'Driscoll. Corp and Middlemass, Ben Cameron, Ray Chamberlain, Luke Ball, Adam Ramanauskas, your call team. Saturday footy, the Dockers by 13. Long kick down the line, turns it over. And there's
it's too slow.
Davies Uniacke with the intercept mark.
It's got to go quicker there, LDU.
In smaller grounds, there's standing room on the fence. People huddled up next to the advertising hoardings. The ball slides at the back of his intended target. The kick inside 50 and out of play, half forward for the Kangas.
Got a similar feel to sort of Barossa and Mount Barker when we used to have games there in Gather Round, and lots of think of where else.
Temporary grandstands.
It's a bit more suburban though, I think, than those others.
A rich history in the Southwest Footy League. In fact, VFL teams used to come down here and play practice matches going way back to the 50s. There's sort of photos on the wall of old teams that would come across to WA and play pre-season games against the South Bunbury Tigers. And the boundary throw-in that Dockers made about 10 metres, and we'll do it all again. So about 70 metres out now, 60 metres out from the Roos goal. It's a 13-point lead for Fremantle. They've kicked the last 2.
Sherry and Jackson, shallow throw-in. Sherry in the end soccers it on, picked up by McKercher. Back feeds it to Simpkin. Left foot kick into the pocket for the Roos. Oscar McDonald spoils it away, bouncing ball. He follows up at ground level. Zerha goes in and wins it, flicks it out to Spargo, who ducks back into traffic, has to get a handball away. Curtis just slaps it on. Wardlaw to McKercher. They're retreating here, the Roos, back out towards centre half forward. Goes back to Hardiman, sweeps it out wide. Low, steps his man, goes back to Hardiman. Almost on the logo now, Hardiman, as he kicks to half forward and finds Trembar.
Actually, a fun fact, one of the first broadcasts I did for the ABC was Mitch Marsh's professional cricket debut here, playing a one-day domestic game for WA. He kicks to full forward here, spills down towards Darling, handball away to Dersma. He's tackled and we'll have a ball up. Top of the goal square for the Kangas. So, a cricket ground as well as being a footy ground.
A lot of headbands out there today, Court. Do a headband count.
You're a proponent of that?
No, not for me.
Trembar can't trap it, and then Wagner and Cherry trying to wrestle it from one another. 28 gone in the opening term. Fremantle by 13.
Most of them it's probably fair enough, Rammer. There's a bit of hair getting
There's
around,
a little bit of look at me with the headband on.
Yeah,
don't worry about that.
Jackson taps it down, fullback for the Dockers, off to Clark. And then Oscar McDonald whacks a long kick out of there, up towards the wing. Comben misses the spoil, out the back it goes. Onto it, Dudley inadvertently sockers it out. Get the lasso out.
Because he meant that. He wanted to try to kick that forward for it to sit up. That wasn't accidental.
Free kick going the way of North and Parker. Shallow inside 50, pack form. Sherry hands to it, doesn't quite mark. Warner turns it over with the handball for the Dockers. With it for the Kangas, Darling off to Stevens. Left foot shot, floats on the breeze back towards goal. Trimbar hands to it, doesn't mark. And the Dockers on the last line work it out. O'Driscoll sweeping handball, sets free Clark.
Stop him here, North.
Clark kicks out towards half back, and Amos takes a juggled mark. Ray Chamberlain on the boundary.
No, I was just going to say, I'm sort of a bit bally. I'd like to have the choice.
Of the headband?
Yeah.
I like it. For a minute, I was like, hang on. I was picking up what you're putting down. It was Ryan with the switch back to Warner. Warner out towards half back, and Oscar McDonald takes the mark. Chips it further afield. Out in front of Erasmus. It's knocked out of play by Wardlaw, throw in on the wing.
That's better by North Melbourne because they were out on the other side of the ground there, Fremantle. But they were able to stop them, hold them up, force them to go sideways and backwards a little bit, whereas previous to that, Fremantle had just been able to break through and get inside forward 50.
Freo kicked the first two, North the next two. Freo the last two in the game. And that is the break. 13 points to the good, the Dockers. Here's Murphy Reid cutting a swathe through them. Nearly missed the handball. Davey Juniak takes it back for North Melbourne. Handball to Stevens. They're on the logo here, the Kangas. Leaps it for Wardlaw. Sherry ends up with it. Jackson puts a saddle on him. Umpire lets them rumble. Wardlaw goes in again. In the end, he has to slap it out. Stevens bends over, flicks out the handball to Hardiman. Zips around them. He'll kick North inside 50. Marking contest. Over the back it goes. Trembath leads the race. Leaves it behind. And Luke Ryan, saving Luke Ryan on the last line, gets it back to O'Driscoll.
The ball certainly has carried the pack a lot towards that northern end in this opening term. As the kick comes out wide to Bolton, he just chips it short to Switkowski.
We're going to let that one slide, are we, Corpse? Saving Luke Ryan?
7 out of 10? You giving it a pass?
It's a movie, so Corbin wouldn't have seen it.
There's Carl Warner in the purple boots. The last kick of the quarter. It's a 13-point lead for the Dockers. So the table-topping team, 4-3-27. They lead North Melbourne 2-2-14. And the Roos in the first of two home games in WA. They play both the sides from the West in consecutive weeks. They got a home game against West Coast to come next week over at Perth Stadium. But it's a 13-point lead for the away team, the Dockers. Goals in that opening term, one each for Reid, Frederick, Tracy and Switkowski. Frederick kicked the first of the game. If you're keeping up with such things. Meanwhile, for North Melbourne, they're two key forwards with one each, one for Larkey and one for Trembath. North Melbourne actually sneakily well supported in WA. They've always had a strong following over there, given the connection of great sandgropers that have gone to play for the Kangaroos. You think of the likes of the Cracker brothers, Glendinning, Cable, Peter Spencer, obviously Phil Kelly, who won a Sandover medal, and the father of Josh Kelly, Graham Melrose. There's a whole lot of players over the years that have hailed from WA and ultimately obviously played for North Melbourne, so very well supported. They've actually got 5 sandgropers in their team today.
I would say, being a native West Aussie like you are, Corbin, I'd say Essendon, thanks to Sheeds in his coaching clinics where you and Ramo first met. Geelong, thanks to Polly Farmer and also Brian Peake, amongst others. I think, and then North Melbourne, they would be the big three in WA that have the most support of the Eastern-based club,
that's fair.
Seaboard clubs.
From the out-of-market teams. Yep. Kangas trail by 13, 2-2. Fremantle of 4-3-27. Your thoughts off the SMS? Tim says, looks like Hands Oval is surrounded by churches. Do you think there are any Freo-loving clergymen that can ring the bell if Wharfie time is needed? We'll see, Tim, if anyone can get to that. Grant in Hobart enjoying the call. We'll go the Blues tomorrow, but Bunbury sounds great today. Appreciate that, Grant. Nice to hear from you. And hi, guys, really enjoying the call of the AFL today from Bunbury. I love the atmosphere and I like the sound of the bigger ground. Open space, smaller crowd, great atmosphere by the sounds of things there. You're making it sound like we're all there together. It's great. And I hope the away team has a great win. Go Freo off the SMS. No name, no pack drill. Keep them coming through. 0437 774 774. The Dockers by 13 points. The thoughts of Rama and Bawley coming up next. This is Saturday Footy on ABC Sport.
Who will win the AI race? Has gambling become our national sport?
Questions. They've never been more important. So the one thing we'll never question is our duty to keep asking. ABC News. Keep asking.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
That's a shocker. Hardiman chipped it short, trying to get it to Logue. Switkowski breaks it up. He takes a bounce, strolls into goal and makes them pay. These zippy Dockers just burn you on the turnover. Spargo receives it, gives a handball to Daniels, straight up the pot, go the Rouge, short kick to Curtis. Hand pass back to Daniel, who's involved again. Hands it away to LDU, kicks inside the forward 50. Got Delarkey on the half volley, couldn't trap it. Trembath toe posts it through. It is the season.
Wide out half forward for the Kangas. Kicks to the hot spot. Trembath launching free kick. Larkey got bundled out of the way by Mason Cox. Nick Larkey Only goalless once this year. He won't be goalless today. And North Melbourne hit the front.
Oh, Parker's kick, a shocker. Reed picks it off, jumps in front of Sheasel. It should have been a short kick to the back pocket. Instead, he missed the target. And the Dockers have another chance to kick a turnover goal. Like any good team, you make any mistake, they make you pay. Murphy Reed does the rest.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
First of 3 games today, Saturday footy in round 13 here on ABC Sport. The Dockers by 13 points quarter time against the Kangas. 4-3-27, they lead North 2-2-14. Your thoughts on the SMS? 0437 774 774. Still to come, the Suns and the Lions, and then the nightcap later tonight, the Eagles and the Power. The thoughts about him, Ramanaskas and Luke Ball through 1.
Well, a pretty even quarter in terms of the numbers, Ramo. I mentioned earlier I thought it looked a bit ominous for the Kangaroos around clearance. Luke Jackson, the first 2 centre bounces, looked really dangerous, and Shea Bolton and Hayden Young getting involved early as well. Really, the story of the quarter is turnover and an unforced error, it must be said, from the Kangaroos, both young and old. We mentioned young Hardiman, who I thought responded pretty well, but had a moment that he'd like back. That set up one of those goals to Switkowski, and then Luke Parker from the kick-out, just gifting a goal to Murphy Reed. So it's 4-3 to 2-2. 4 goals, 2 of those 4-3 were directly from turnover. So it's a pretty easy message, isn't it, from Alistair Clarkson to clean up at quarter time. Boys, can we please take care of the footy a little bit? Because other than that, it's been a pretty open, free-flowing game. I mean, there's only 12 tackles to 7.
Yeah.
So it's a really low-pressure, open, free-flowing game. I mentioned I don't like when the Kangaroos go sideways and backwards. When they get energy on the ball and go forward and take the ball forward, they look dangerous.
Well, the problem is, I think, is that tackle count that you mentioned, Bally. There's no way North Melbourne can sustain competing in this game with 7 tackles in a quarter. They have to apply pressure to Fremantle's disposal. There's a number of times where I felt like Fremantle were out across half back. And look, to North's credit, they were able to stop it. But that won't happen. That won't happen continually throughout the game. North's mids defensive transition running, I've always thought is ordinary. But that's just the type of player they are. So you mentioned the McKercher chase. It's the old, I'll actually try to look like I'm actually doing it. When am I actually really putting the hammer down and wanting to chase and wanting to, get myself back into a defensive position? So, okay, 1 quarter, yep, that's fine. But if it continues into quarter 2 and 3, you just feel like Fremantle have got the weapons to blow the game right out.
Interesting, wasn't it, when Trenbarth went into the ruck?
They looked better.
They
probably looked better.
Yeah, a couple of times he actually jumped over Mason Cox.
Yep.
And then obviously his follow-up, is really good. So 12 inside 50s each, so enough opportunity from the Kangaroos. A couple of times their key forwards got their hands on it. We know that this Fremantle defence are pretty miserly, led by Alex Pearce. So pretty even quarter, other than those turnovers like we spoke about.
Second quarter underway. Fremantle leading by 13 points. Jackson bringing it down. Bolton getting around the footy. Jackson ends up with it. Handball too hot for Young. Davies Uniacke takes it back for North. Gives it straight back to the Dockers. Brayshaw runs back the other way. Gives it off to Switkowski. High towering kick inside 50. Looking for a marker. Tracy goes up. Punched away by Comben. Comes down at ground level. Dudley! Something out of nothing. Squeezes it through. And Fremantle score inside 28 seconds into their second term. They lead by 19. 5-3-33 plays 2-2-14. Ray Chamberlain before Adam Ramanaskas and Luke Ball.
Yeah, just a quick update for Rama. Patrick Voss has got a jump and swap. He's gone back to a traditional crew neck, Rama, so I'll keep an eye on that for you, mate.
Okay, thank you. I'm happy. Look, I don't love that by Luke Parker at all. So Dudley's his direct opponent coming into that crumbing situation front and centre. Parker didn't want to make any body contact with him. That should have been a simple exit for North Melbourne. Dudley is dangerous. We know Dudley is very dangerous at ground level. All he needed was a little bit of body contact to push him off the line of where that front and centre was, and the opportunity doesn't present itself.
And Roger Hayden's old number 43, is still working. He's at the Dockers. He's part of the staff there as a development officer. As a hurried kick forward here from Sheasel inside the attacking 50. Spills down to Curtis. Breaks one tackle. Gives it away to Darling. Sweeping Polyfarmer. Hand pass all the way to full forward. Ryan's back there and paddles it through for a minor score. Well, it's an 18-point lead for Fremantle, 5-3 to 2-3, 2 minutes into the second term. I mentioned, by the way, 5 West Australians in the North Melbourne team. There's only 9 in the WA team, in the Fremantle team, the WA base team being the Dockers. What I'm trying to spit out, but so good representation from the Kangaroos.
Long kick in, a free kick picked out in amongst all of it. It'll end up with Switkowski. Throw by 18 points to return throw to him. Only gets about halfway, bounces away from Switkowski. 18 points, the Dockers lead, as I said. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Switkowski flares it out wide for Clark, broken up by Davies Uniacke. Now Clark has a task, gathers the footy, runs out of room, caught holding the ball.
That's better.
They asked North to up their tackles, and they've done just that. Davies Uniacke kicks up to half forward, going up. Ryan punches it away out of play.
We completely lost that in the sun, Nick Larkin.
Real problem down there, ground, isn't it?
How did Mitch Marsh go with the sun in that one-day domestic match on debut, Corbin?
I think he was all right. You enjoyed that story, didn't you? I think your favourite bit, I think, was my self-insertion in the story.
3 out by 18
I've been waiting for that one for 10 minutes.
I know. He's had that bullet in the chamber, hasn't he? And he thought, you know what, now's the time.
Well, I reckon it was one for half time, so we could actually pick it apart a bit. But anyway, back to the game.
Short of Switkowski to Bolton. Handball away to Frederick. Hand pass inside to Bolton, who's tackled by Davies Uniacke.
LDU 2 now, 2 tackles, 2 holding the ball.
Yeah.
Gordon Clark first, and now Shea Bolton. Terrific. Good leadership.
Tone set for the rest of the afternoon, which is good. So Davies Uniacke goes lateral away towards Parker. Long kick to half forward. Oh, but Pearce lost it. Sun in his eyes. Down towards Erasmus. Handball away towards Chapman. Gets it back. And then the kick goes across the half back line to Clark.
Should have thought about that when they were building the ground, just building the orientation of the field, Corb, I would have thought.
His sunburns bright in Western Australia. This sunniest place in the world is a short kick away towards O'Meara. Hand pass to Andy Brayshaw.
Lucky they don't have a roof, otherwise I'd close it.
A long kick out to the wing. Tracy in the one-on-one battle. Comben did well to get a hand in there. Forces it free. Zerha for the Kangas. Handball away to Luke McDonald, and now out to Stevens against the boundary line on that eastern wing.
Kicks around the boundary line, and free kick somewhere in it. It'll go to Larkey. Just to run and fetch the footy. Throw by 3 goals. 4 minutes into the second. Larkey's kick to no one in particular. Sits up for Caleb Daniel, though. 55 out. Kicks to the pocket. 1-on-1. Darling.
He lost his feet there, Alex Pearce. And when he came back up, all it needed was just a little bit of body contact by Darling. Take the mark. He should convert here.
Former Eagle. Hooks it through. And North Melbourne get their first of the second term. And bring it back to 2 goals the margin. 5-3-33 Fremantle. North 3-3-21. Adam Ramanauskas and Luke Ball 5 minutes into the second.
Yeah, he did lose his feet, didn't he? Because it wasn't a great kick, really, from initially Larkey inboard. So Larkey wins a free kick. And his second possession of the game. Definitely a free kick there. Luke Ryan holding him. And Caleb Daniel, rather. I guess it was a kick to advantage, wasn't it? But we're not used to it. I mean, Alex Pearce, such a good one-on-one player. In the end, just lost his footing, didn't he? So you've got to take those opportunities when they present against a player like that, because they're rare. Jack Darling was good enough to mark and go back and convert it. I mean, it does look a little bit swirly down there. There's a lot of kicks not quite hitting the target.
Now 9 straight games. He's kicked a goal. The oldest Roo out there. Jack Darling at 33 as Wardlaw with the centre clearance. Kicks out to Dersma with the headband on. A hand pass away to Stevens. Looks inside the forward pocket. One bounce out of play. Tell you what really emphasises just how big the ground is the space between the centre square and the 50.
Yeah.
Enormous. Feels like you could it's a legal kick just about from the from the edge of the centre square to the forward 50. A lot of space. 175 metres long, 15 metres longer than Dockland Stadium from the boundary throw-in. Comes down to Wardlaw and Chapman, and we'll have a ball up. Ray Chamberlain.
I think he's picked the free kick out here, but I was just about to say, for those people out there that don't think the defensive pressures of this game get rewarded enough, we've had 11 free kicks, 7 of them have been holding the ball, and there's only been 23 tackles laid.
Wow,
it's a big chunk for
I
mine.
got a question shortly on that, Ray. We'll see if Wardlaw kicks his goal, but I've got a question on that.
So there's a holding the ball free right there. So Wardlaw laid the tackle on Chapman, didn't release it. It's going to result in a shot at goal. 12-point game to make it 6. And the Kangaroos, number 6, with the drop punt. It's good. It's a one-score game. Here come the Kangas. 5-3 to 4-3. 7 gone in the second term. Freo by 6 out of Ramanascus loop ball.
Is there a percentage difference between holding the ball in the first quarter than the last quarter?
I'm gonna sound like a politician in discussion, Tom.
But
I'll take that on notice. But the short answer for that is no. But in this particular example that was just paid, there was no prior opportunity. George Wardlaw laid a legal tackle. The ball wasn't pinned, and he never made a genuine attempt. But more broadly, Rama, it should make no difference.
It shouldn't. But I'm saying, with the stats that we've got now, we would know the answer to that, wouldn't we?
I'll bring that back to you. Yeah.
Great to have Ray Chamberlain with us, as we always do on Saturday afternoons, explaining the game to us, helping us out with the umpiring.
Educating us.
Yes. He does, doesn't he? I feel like I must admit, free kick in the middle.
That's not a free kick, is it?
I thought Trembath went early and jumped through the middle. The free kick's gone the way of Trembath, presumably for Jackson crossing that centre line.
It's too hard for the umpires, this one. Anyway.
Trembath out of the middle, sends it out wide for Simpkins. So the Kangas doing the attacking, kicked the last 2 goals in the game.
Sort of like a cricket umpire looking for no ball.
Yeah. Simpkin comes infield to Parker. Just forward of the logo. Parker looks long into the pocket. The Dockers are there in number. Scored away by Ryan. Back beyond their defensive arc. Bouncing ball for Erasmus. Handball away towards Brayshaw. He'll stab it short. And Frederick comes up the mark. Gives it back to Brayshaw, who's run on. In the shadows of the grandstand. Kicks up to half forward for Freo. Amos can't take the mark. Ricochets out to Voss. Feeds the handball forward. Switkowski on the burst. Helicopter spin straight through the middle. Fremantle answer and make it 2 goals apiece in the second term. They lead by 2 kicks. 6-3-39 plays 4-3-27. 9 into the second term. Adam Ramanascus and Luke Ball.
Just really they get the football forward. So get it to your one-on-one, Erasmus.
He's like queuing up with that.
Just want to know who Switkowski's man was.
He's a good player, isn't he? They rate him so highly. He's in the leadership group, high IQ. It wasn't a great finish.
Gets right up the ground and works back so hard. So he's always testing his direct opponent. It's like, okay, if I go up, are you going to be prepared to stay back? Now, he's gone up twice, and he's been able to get 2 goals out of it.
Don't get caught in between or caught ball watching, because I'll get to the right spot. And well done, Paddy Voss there. He just made a 50-50 ball his own, didn't he?
First multiple goal kicker of the game, Sam Switkowski.
Back to 12 points. Brayshaw first disposal at the restart. Handball out in front of Jackson. Needs it to sit. Gathers at centre half forward. Handball inside 50 for the Dockers. Picked off. McKercher. Tackled by Erasmus. Dispossessed. Holding the ball. It was a late whistle. But it's a free kick for the Dockers. And it's coming back to Neil Erasmus.
There's no doubt on that one, Corb. That's, he had his opportunity, McKercher, to dispose of the football. The tackler takes him down to the ground legally, holding the ball every day.
Good support umpiring there. I think the out of zone had called it.
Definitely go for the out of zone. Yeah.
Just when you thought North were on top, which they were, Brayshaw's been huge this quarter as well. He's up to 6 possessions.
Only man with a Christian name Neil in the competition at present. And Erasmus bangs it straight through the middle. And the Purple respond. Back-to-back goals after the Kangas closed within a straight kick. And there's a bit more comfort for Freo. So 7-3 to 4-3. 18 points, the buffer for the Dockers. 11 gone in the second term. It's Adam Ramanascus, Luke Ball. We don't have too many Neils, do we? We got Neil surnames, so we don't have too many Christian name Neils.
Well, we've got a Harry that doesn't want to hold his width and be a sweeper at a centre bounce there. So he's ball watching, going, well, I can go and get the football. Where he should have held there as a sweeper. Jackson then gets out the front door, and that's where the momentum starts. So again, it's this ultra-attacking player that Sheasel, McKercher and the like are. But when it's your turn to hold your space, hold as a sweeper, you've got to be able to do it. The resulting effect ball is a goal.
So Freo hit back. A couple of goals of their own. Jackson down, but pinched there by Davies Uniacke. It gives it to Brayshaw. Fremantle back the other way. Feeds it off to Jackson. Kicks inside 50. And full-chested. Paddy Voss comes up to mark. 45 out, as good as directly in front. He'll go back and kick for goal.
So elite centre bounce work again. Andy Brayshaw is having some sort of quarter. Up to 7 possessions. Involved in everything. And Luke Jackson again.
He gets involved.
Gee, there was too much space there again. That was the old ski rope. Griffin Logue, I don't know what he was thinking. Lowering of the eyes. He had about 10 metres space there, Paddy Voss. Easiest of lead-up marks.
20 goals this year. Same as the number on his back. His drop punt is perfect. From range, doesn't quite make the distance. Stays in play. Snapped over his head there by Amos.
I hope that's not play on.
It's a goal.
Yeah. It's given a goal.
To who?
I think to Voss.
Yeah.
And he just lets his opponent Griffin Logue know that you've been yapping a little bit. And that has been the theme of the week. Perhaps Nick Watson last night on the walk-off interview
that was
said that Selwood was talking the talk. He wanted to see him walk the walk, and just then with the thumb and the fingers, doing a lot of yapping.
Wizard.
8-3-51 plays 4-3-27. Dockers by 24-13 into the second.
Just nowhere near close enough for a key defender on a lead-up forward too, Rammer. That time there. Look, Davies Uniacke, so first position of the Kangaroos. Just got to go on the boot there. Don't try and create something out of the centre. We know there's one-on-ones ahead of the footy. As I said, Brayshaw with the intercept possession. So again, that's a goal from a turnover.
Yep.
Kangaroos win the footy. Just give it back too easily.
Back in the middle, Fremantle with a little purple patch here. They've kicked 3 in quick time. A Sheasel hand pass out in front of McKercher. Sends it down to half forward for the Kangas. Intercepted Oscar McDonald.
And there's a difference. Nick Larkey just trailing in his defender.
His heels.
Handball to McVie. Retreats back with the kick to Ryan. So Freo on the last line. They've got to go the length of the field. All 175 metres. Kicks to half back for Reid. Hand pass away to Chapman. He slips over. Just got a hand pass back to Ryan, who holds his shape and kicks wide to Warner. Putting together a nice year, Corey Warner. Comes out of the defensive 50 to McVie. And pass to Murphy, trying to keep a bit of speed on the ball. Chips along the boundary line and finds the former Kangaroo, former Demon, in Wagner.
Wagner kicks around the wing to Jackson. Jackson feeds Murphy Reid, running by. Down the eastern wing, the Dockers, up to half forward. O'Meara accepts it. Fremantle by 24 points. O'Meara kicks into the pocket, and there's Tracy. Fremantle's three-headed monster getting busy. Tracy takes it 25 out, slight angle to the right.
Well, it's too easy. Again, one end of the ground or the other, and no risk at all there. Murphy Reid, I'm just not sure he's a player you can allow as a high forward to come up the ground without any pressure. He's too smart. His ball use is too good. And whilst we gave the Kangaroos a bit of a pat on the back in the first 5 minutes for dialing up the pressure, it's just gone again.
Tracy's drop punt is through the middle, and this game is getting away from North Melbourne. Fremantle out by 5 goals. 9-3-57 plays 4-3-27. 30 points. That's 2 for Josh Tracy. Multiple goals in all bar 2 games this year. That's how good he's been. Adam Ramanauskas and Luke Ball.
Well, it's 4 in 6 minutes. So, and it's really through Fremantle's ball movement. But again there, like, Comben just loses all contact. And then Tracy gets in front, and it's like, oh, well, it's not my responsibility anymore. I'll just give up on it. That's not Will Dawson's man. But he's the one that sees Tracy potentially taking the mark, in which he did. You can't give up. You still got to just dig in and try get back to your direct opponent.
Clever kick, wasn't it, from Jago?
Great kick.
Just dropped it in the other spot.
5 goals, the lead for Fremantle. Jackson, superb. Just hooks it down behind to Erasmus. Handball to Brayshaw. Kicks to half forward. 2 Kangas collide in the air. Hardiman and Comben at the drop. Dudley. Handball into the pocket. Scooped up by Amos. He retreats back by hand to Jager O'Meara. 48 metres out. Kicks off a step to full forward. They come from all directions. Skims off the fingertips of Voss. Simpkin trying to clear along the ground to Logue. He's rolled over in the O'Meara tackle and a ball up. Forward pocket for Freo. 30-point advantage. They have kicked 4 goals in 7 minutes. And this game is completely flipped after the Kangas got within a goal.
Sherry taps it down. Erasmus nowhere to go. I did say when he mentioned about the dead pocket early on, Corbin, that there wasn't much breeze. The old gum trees around the ground blowing a little bit at the moment, and we are seeing the ball impacted.
Spotted a Norfolk pine over there too, Ben.
Tapped down by
That's the one.
Sherry. Free kick to Jackson. Got him high. Will come back. And Luke Jackson in the right forward pocket will have to just work it off that breeze through the major opening. Should help him. Fremantle by 30 points as Jackson goes back. Looking to make it 5 goals in 8 minutes.
Well, he's just too mobile. Yeah, I mean, it was accidental, but it's certainly high contact there. Tristan Cherry, who's having a pretty ordinary first half, it must be said.
Jackson's drop punt from the pocket, works it on the breeze and finds the major opening. Well, it's a breeze for Fremantle at the moment. 10-3-63 plays 4-3-27, 17 and a half minutes into the second term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Yeah, well, he's up to 12 now, Jackson, and Sherry's had 2 handballs. So, but it's the domination of Jackson around ruck contests. So whether it be centre bounce or there, so Sherry's just reaching. He's reaching because he's under pressure. Look, it's probably marginal, Ray, but the hands were over the top, over the shoulder in the end.
In the end, yeah, he clips him right in the mouth. Yeah. I think he's bleeding. He's bleeding from the mouth as he left the ground, so I think it's probably a wanted free kick.
Yeah.
What a season he's having. Luke Jackson, the player he's become.
Superstar.
5 goals in 9 minutes, and all of a sudden, Fremantle have busted this game wide open. Bolton reads the hit out from Mason Cox and then gives it to him. Big Mason has a little U-turn in the middle of the ground. Short kick picked off by McKercher.
That's not his go, Big Mason.
Just on Luke Jackson as well. He's 24. He's played 131 games. Like, rucks are often just starting to play right now.
He's ahead of him. Yeah, he's just so different to any ruckman in a long time that we've seen.
McKercher kick back to Simpkin and then to Dersmer, who just floats a kick down the broadcast wing. Oscar McDonald had it, lost it, spills down to Curtis. He's taken the ground by Cox.
The amount of times that you see Luke Jackson involved in a centre clearance because he's so quick and nimble after the tap.
Yeah.
You know, his mind's just thinking, okay, where's the space? Where do I need to get to? Can I get hands away?
Roos went it down, but O'Driscoll there. Handball to Young, handball to Chapman. The Dockers string a chain together, but retreating. There's Carl Warner with a 1-2 out towards O'Driscoll. Back to Warner. Hand pass up over halfway. Reed and Parker. Parker in the opposite direction, and the experience wins out. Gives it to McKercher. Took on too many. Young got him, holding the ball. Yeah. Free kick for Young on the wing.
It's caught a lot, Cole. We've done the other. You love him taking the game on, but yeah, sometimes when the pressure's on, you just got to. First option.
Young kicks to centre half forward, taken by O'Meara, gives it off towards Clark, sweeps a handball inside 50. Tracy fends off a tackle, gets it out towards Wagner. He's a little bereft, does a 720, dumps it on the boot, straight up and down. Not his best effort, but no mark for Stevens. He's tackled by Wagner, clipped high.
Is that the dead pocket?
That's the dead pocket.
No one wants to have a shot. I mean, he did a 360 then. He turned his back on the goals, Warner. He could have taken 4 steps and had a shot.
I think he went around twice. I think it was 720.
It's good analysis in the pre-game on the pocket. Ben was pretty quick to point out he didn't think there was much of a breeze and it wouldn't matter. But it's amazing how it comes back around. Halfway through the second term, long kick down the wing from Combat and Dersman takes the mark.
Rammer's dead pocket at Marvel, isn't it?
Yeah. 6-goal lead for Fremantle. They've busted this game open in the second term. Handball away to Simpkin. Handball to Luke McDonald. Kicks down to half forward. Sherry's got it. Kangas need an answer. Hand pass to Spargo. Spargo inside 50, hitting up Constanti, can't trap it. Knocked away from him. O'Driscoll off half back to Bolton. Handball away towards Warner. Warner there with McKercher. McKercher wins it back. Bolton tackles him. Dudley crashes in, wins it for Freo. O'Driscoll to O'Meara. He's tackled. Freo should work it out.
Here goes Clark. Zips away with the footy. Takes a bounce. The All-Australian. A second bounce. Kicks deep inside 50. Freo out the back. And Tracy marks. Frederick. It's slapped away from him.
Too unselfish, Josh.
Yeah. Tried to give it to his housemate, Frederick.
Just missed his hand, didn't he?
Yeah.
It was there.
Fremantle by 37, and it should be more. 21 and a half into the second.
It's brilliant ball movement, isn't it? And how was the play from Dudley, the 50-50 across half back? Well, deserved the goal, didn't it?
Ball zipping end to end at the moment. Daniel off halfback, kicks down the wing. Constanti shares it out of play with McPhee. Boundary throwing on halfway.
One of the best teams. They've just got gears for you at the moment, don't they? Just when they get challenged, they just say, okay, we shifted into fourth and they can't go with them.
And their coach has got the perfect demeanour. He always looks like he's 8 points down, time on in the last quarter. Like he's got that stern look in his face saying, this isn't going to go our way. And yet they're 37 points up and seemingly in command again on an 11-game win streak. O'Meara coughs it up. Roos win it back. Sherry, hand pass close to the boundary line. Stevens lost it. McVee wins it back for Fremantle. Hand pass along the line to Bolton. Bolton chips it further afield and finds Tracy between wing and half forward.
Just on the coach, AFL Life membership today, 300th game as a player and coach for Justin Longmuir as Tracy kicks the Dockers into the pocket. Off the hands there of Parker, ball hits the deck. Dudley scrapping after it, wrapped up by Parker.
That's ball, yeah.
Holding the ball. Happy with that one, Ray?
Hard to see from here as to who dragged it in, but if it is a dive drag, then yep, that's holding the ball.
Yeah, dragged it in. Good decision.
Parker out to Hardiman, who kicks around the boundary line and off the hands of Davies Uniacke.
He's over the other side of the ground there, in fairness.
He's in the dead pocket.
Ground.
We might send Ray over to the dead pocket for the second half.
Yeah.
Freo by 37, 10-4-64, plays 4-3-27.
He would love to sit with the people, Ray.
0437 774 774 the SMS. Shallow boundary throw in. Spills down to Hayden Young. What a luxury to have him back in a team on an 11-game winning sequence. Kicks into the pocket. The dead one. Tracy's there. He's got two Kangas to deal with. They take him out of play. Says spin it in.
Yeah, look at that in the first quarter where Tracy had the matchup of Luke McDonald. I forgot that they also had Will Dawson there. Sort of like, it's not that hard to shuffle. If a guy's tall, put a tall player on him.
10-4 to 4-3. Fremantle by 37. Time on second term. Mason Cox palms it down. Couldn't trap it. Amos and Roos get it out of defence. Wardlaw away to Stevens. Kicks to halfback. Arriving late, Trembar forced to spoil. Shea Bolton wants to keep it in. Half forward for Freo. Does well. Got it back to Tracy. Retreats by hand to Wagner, who kicks deep into the forward pocket. Coming late and punching it out is Luke McDonald. He scored his own man in Parker and will have a boundary throw in forward pocket for Freo. Dockers by 37. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Just controlling the footy too, aren't they? 30 more possessions for the quarter. 5 more inside 50s now.
Grab it. From the throw in. Cox trying to flick it to the back. Young bursting through. Snaps the goal. Fremantle at their best.
This is going to be bad viewing for North Melbourne kids here.
11-4-70 plays 4-3-27. 25 minutes into the second term. Adam Ramanauskas and Luke Ball.
Oh, I'm looking forward to the replay here. So look, so Hayden Young's really got no one. Wardlaw goes to him late.
It's a block.
Tiny little block. No handover.
Oh, that's bad. Yep.
And then Simpkin. You're either going to put your body in line of the ball or you're not.
But
that's bad defensive play by North Melbourne.
Yeah, red alert. Deep defensive stoppage and great hit from Mason Cox and class. I mean, you call it, Corby. What a luxury. This guy, he's their match winner.
That's training. That's training stuff for Fremantle. That's when you're doing it without an opponent.
What was their score? Full-time score last year, Benny? Did you say?
In the game here.
Yeah.
There was West Coast who got the game against North, but it was 62 beat 52.
Okay, we're already 11 goals for
already 70 points on the board for Fremantle, which makes it a record, Paulie. Highest score ever in an AFL game at this venue. Fremantle before half-time as Jackson gets a hand pass out to Andy Brayshaw. The son of a kangaroo got a hand pass away towards Frederick. He kicks inside the forward 50 and Amos jumps in front. A lad from the southwest has got it, and he'll have a look here, right half forward for Freo.
What are we up to here, Bally? Inside 50s, 12-7.
Feels more, doesn't it?
This quarter.
It's an annihilation around the ball, though.
But of those 12 inside 50s, they kicked 7 goals, 1.
Yeah.
So, look, what's to blame? Is the midfield to blame? Is the defenders not close enough? A clearance at the moment, 11-7 in Fremantle's favour this quarter. Only 11 tackles by North Melbourne this quarter again.
To make it 7 consecutive goals. Dead-Eye Jai puts it through. It is overwhelming. And the purple premiership favourites are out by 49 points. 27 gone in the second term. 12-4 leads 4-3. Luke Ball, Adam Ramanauskas on ABC
Well,
Sport.
Ram, it's really the first time we've seen giant miss, but this is the power of this forward line. It's so impressive to see in person today. If it's not Tracy or Voss, Amos will come out. They've always got a key forward leading at the ball, haven't they? So there's always an option for their midfielders. And Brayshaw, again, he's having some sort of a quarter. 9 possessions, 237 metres gained. He's had 5 contested, 3 clearances. He's been in everything. And if they don't get you in the air, it's Witkowski we've seen, Dudley we've seen, and Bolton. So this is a really powerful statement, really, this quarter from the league leaders.
Highest score to half-time this year from the Dockers as Jackson brings it down. Erasmus, as he's tackled, feeds it out to Bolton. Retreating, hooks the kick across his body. Well gathered by Switkowski. Turns around his man easily. Off to Jackson. Action Jackson from 50. A goal. And they're all action Fremantle. 8 in a row. He's got a couple and the Dockers lead by 55 points. 13-4-82. Plays 4-3-27. 27 minutes into the second.
They can't go with him. Ordinary by North Melbourne.
No
so
pressure.
The ball comes in their half of the ground. Their half forward should have been at that centre bounce, pushing up to close down space. You look at him. So Spargo on his heels, Sheasel on his heels.
Trent Barth's the direct opponent there. He just gets caught ball watching. But a poor effort from Hardiman there. Switkowski too easy to win the 50-50, and then that's just a player at the top of his game at the moment.
He knows what he's good at, Luke Jackson.
We love saying when a team's up and going, which is the player they can least afford to lose. Is he it? Is he that number one?
I think he is. Yeah, he's the X factor, isn't he?
What
a joy to watch, though, isn't it? But this team at the moment.
He wins the hit out here and then gets the first possession away towards Bolton, gives it to Brayshaw, kicks to centre half forward and intercepted.
Essentially playing with 4 mids at all times. They're not playing with a ruckman and 3 mids.
Hardiman just kicked out to the wing and Brayshaw arriving late knocks it out of bounds. And that's what he's the best at, Andy Brayshaw, the 1%ers.
Like Luke Jackson had 8 possessions this quarter, 5 score involvements and 2 goals.
Throw in between wing and half forward, Ray Chamberlain.
My nomination would be Hayden Young's the one they don't want to miss. They don't want to miss Luke Jackson, of course. They do have cover there. I think Hayden Young's their point of difference.
Jackson palms it down. Sherry on his knees, though. Got a hand pass out and straight back towards his opposing ruckman is in Jackson. Sherry surely threw it out. In the end, it disappears over the boundary line. If it was a possession, it's now the last disposal free for Fremantle.
It's a good point on Hayden Young. You know, you'd say where Fremantle are now, they want to play 3 finals.
Bolton got a short kick from Brayshaw, tried to give it back to him. He's in the tangle with Sheasel. Ball close to the boundary line, still not sure it's out. The umpire says keep going. No whistle, try and work it out. Davies Uniacke eventually extracts it. North with it, handball to McKercher, lateral kick, a shocker. Jackson got hands to it, can't mark. Sherry had it, crunched in a tackle. Hardiman's hand pass into space. Erasmus collects. He's drilled, taken to ground. Comes out to O'Driscoll, handball to the wing for Brayshaw. And he gives it wide to Bolton.
Bolton will kick around the boundary line towards half forward. Zerha's gone back, takes a defensive mark for the Kangas.
And I say that about Hayden Young because it's 3 finals, 4 weeks, call it. You know, can he be at his absolute best in those games where they don't have to manage him, he can just play?
So look after him on the run in.
Well, I mean, it'll help if they don't have to travel. Obviously, they finish in the top 2. There's a little concern here. The game stopped.
Yeah, Riley Hardiman's down and a little under the weather. And
he's okay.
He's back to his feet now. I was talking to the trainers, but seems okay. Just on the Dockers as well. I mean, they're 13-4-82 before half-time. Just looking at the replay. Bounced off Erasmus as he tried to tackle him, and a little bit of whiplash, and then hit the deck as well.
Just ate a forearm into the throat, chin on the way down. Yeah,
it's right down the middle.
He's running.
Yeah, okay.
Looks good.
He's one of those West Aussies playing for North Melbourne, Ray Chamberlain.
Yeah, no, definitely when he's head hitting the ground there, we'll keep an eye on it. I'd suggest they'll go downstairs and just run a test with him.
He looked all right coming towards you, Ray?
No, he looked terrific. He's high five on the way off the ground. I think he'll be okay.
North chipping it around inside their defensive 50. 24 minutes since their last goal. The margin at that point was 6 points. Freo kicked 8 consecutive goals to lead by 55.
Out of defence, Daniel puts it down the wing and Trembath marks. He looks inside to Spargo. And said 55-point lead for Freo. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Busted this wide open in this second term. Spargo's hand pass finds Daniel. Nothing up ahead. Decides just to give a hot potato handball to Luke McDonald. Short kick wide for Trembath. Saw a stat on our monitors here just a moment ago. The third game in a row, the Kangaroos have conceded over 70 points in the first half. So they got spanked by Adelaide and kicked 10 unanswered goals in the second term. They were well behind against the Suns, came back to win. And then here, this game seemingly out of reach already before half-time.
A lot of this quarter, I feel like, is on their midfield.
Short kicking game for the Roos. Daniel to Parker. At some point, they're going to have to pull the trigger. They're still on the wing. And the Dockers have kicked the last 8 in the game. Kicks down to half forward. It's a shallow entry. Trembath, second involvement in the chain, takes the mark. Remembering here, the footy at half back only moments ago. Runs all the way down to half forward, and it's a big ground to get his hands on it again.
Well, he's a problem. He's been one of their better players in this first half, Trembath.
Got some serious talent, hasn't he? Only going to get better and better. It's so good overhead. And he can kick it, can he? Can absolutely sink a slipper into it here.
Round 4 rising star on Cooper Trembath. He's got one already today off the ground. Trying to kick it out of the hand here. And it's off target. Still alive in the goal square. Darling had a fair piece of it. Pack forms around him as he hits the deck. And the ump says ball up 3 metres out from the goal line. Darling was trying to claim it. Waning moments of the first half. Fremantle by 55.
Up it goes. Sherry and Jackson both with it. And then Clark at ground level gathers and just runs it straight through for a minor score. Freo by 54 points. Freo likely about to cross 100 for a 9th time this season as well. As the long kick is intercepted by Griffin Lowe. Nice mark from him. Griffins do fly as he kicks back inside 50, looking for a marker at full forward. Punched away by Clark towards the pocket. The Dockers are there. Gathered by Ryan. Flicks it back towards Oscar McDonald, who dumps it on the boot. Out of bounds on the full. And the mark set 60 out from goal, taken by Spargo. And the siren will beat him. So Fremantle with the last 8 goals of the first half. And they make it a 9-2 second term to lead by 54 points. So the goal kickers, 2 to Tracy, 2 to Switkowski, 2 to Jackson, then singles to Murphy Reid, Patrick Voss, Joe Amos, Hayden Young, Neil Erasmus, Michael Frederick and Isaiah Dudley. And then the singles for North Melbourne, there's 4 of them, Wardlaw, Larkey, Darling and Trembath.
13 points at quarter time, 54 at the half. A 9-goal lead for the Dockers. 13-4 to 4-4. This is Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Off the SMS, Brandon in Hobart. Who is in the Dockers' best 23? Cox or Darcy? Speaking about Sean Darcy, who played in the Waffle last week, or Mason Cox, who's in the side currently?
Well, I remember. There's your answer, isn't it, at the moment?
Oh, I think so. But also, it felt instructive when Justin Longmuir was on AFL Saturday, which you can get in the podcast store under ABC AFL Daily. He basically said, he was on AFL Saturday, which you can get there in the podcast store. He said that he sort of suggested that Mason Cox was the favourite.
He's going to land the plane.
It's a long
slow down. Take your time. Start again.
Too much promo.
Start again.
I knew I'd messed it up when I could hear the text, Stu Birchmore laughing as I was trying to get it out.
Start again. Have another go. Have another go.
The award-winning AFL Saturday pod. Go
on ABC AFL Daily.
Justin Longmuir joined Ewan Borley on AFL Saturday, the award-winning, which you can get under ABC AFL Daily. And he basically intimated that Mason Cox was in the team, possession's 9/10 of the law. Darcy's going to have to win the spot back.
Oh. Is it
delivery?
Certainly worth the wait. Yeah. And there's your answer for our texter in.
That's a lot.
It was worth the wait.
That's a big...
He didn't turn us off. In that
we've all had bad moments.
Listening...
No, you're right.
Off the SMS, no name, no pack drill. Listening from the Greek Islands. Nice to have you with us. Early in the morning there. Looking good. Craig says, hi, guys. Great call. Very funny. Peter Bell, a great West Aussie who played for North Melbourne.
Yeah, 1 metre Peter.
Shout out for Belly from Craig. And from Kevin in Shenton Park says, you're right, Corbin, the southwest is an ideal location for a third WA team. Direct flights Melbourne to Bustleton.
Yep.
A bespoke stadium at Bunbury. And the team's name, the Cab Savs. Perfect. From Kevin.
Very good.
Keep more coming off the SMS 0437 774 774, the SMS number. And I noticed there was one here too from Martin in Echuca. He says, hi Corbin and team. Looks like Mitch Marsh scored 10 on debut in Bunbury against South Australia in an 8-wicket loss. So there's that famous game from all those years ago at this very venue, which they played cricket here, the Western Warriors back in the day. In the 50-over competition. All right, the thoughts of Bawley and Rammer at half-time. It is Fremantle by 9 goals who lead the Kangaroos.
Well,
They've picked the last 8 Bawley in the game.
Sorry, Corby, we put the challenge to North at quarter time, Rammer, didn't we, to dial up their pressure. Only 7 tackles in that first quarter. In the first 5 minutes of the quarter, they responded. And Luke Davies-Uniacke, 2 run-down tackles, and you thought, OK, they've addressed it at quarter time and they've got going a bit. They actually got within a kick the first couple of goals of that quarter. And then after that, it does feel like, the good teams, Rammer, they do have the ability to shift gears. And after that, it really did feel like Freo said, OK, challenge accepted. And they just shifted into gear. And it was a combination of brilliant play from Jackson and Brayshaw in particular. They were the two. They had unbelievable quarters. Brayshaw had 12 possessions. He was in everything. It was metres gained. It was contested footy. It was 4 clearances, 4 score involvements. And then Luke Jackson, 8 possessions and 2 goals and 5 score involvements himself. So off the back of those two, they just absolutely took over the game. Bolton, and then it's the smalls that that come into play, and Bolton. And then Erasmus had a pretty good quarter as well. Dudley had some good moments, and Hayden Young. And I'm so impressed with their forward line. They just always present and give their midfielders something to kick to. And if it's not Voss or Tracy, obviously the big one there, a miss got involved then as well. And then the ball hits the ground. Switkowski's kicked a couple of goals, and Dudley and Reid as well. So well balanced. But it was equal parts Fremantle dialing it up, and North Melbourne just lack of response. And you mentioned it, Corb, these runs of goals against, so 9 goals in a quarter, really says that for any gain that they've made from a defensive point of view this year, really, when we look at that, you can't say
immaturity, or is it more than that?
Well, it's a bit of both. I think.
Well, when it gets hard, they don't want to dig in.
You got to dig in.
You got to dig in.
You got to dig in.
Someone's got to stop the momentum.
Yeah, it just didn't feel like.
That should be stoppage after stoppage after stoppage. They coughed 5 minutes.
Exactly. They coughed it up too easily. Yeah. And then at other times, they just didn't lay a glove on them. And that's just effort and intent. And there's enough evidence still, unfortunately, for Kangaroo supporters that they've still got a long way to go from a team defence point of view.
Oh, they're enormous. And look, and they are. They have recruited a lot of attacking flair in their team, no doubt about that. But, the centre bounce stuff, looking at just the first half in its entirety there. So centre bounce is 11-8. It felt more than that because the clearances have been really clean out of the centre for Fremantle. Now, I mentioned Luke Jackson not being a ruckman. He's just another midfielder when he goes in there. So Fremantle play with 4 mids. Sherry can't go with him at all.
It's a bad matchup for Sherry, isn't it?
Shocking matchup. Shocking. Sherry should be rucking against Mason Cox today, and probably Trembath should be rucking against Luke Jackson. Totally. So, and you look at the effect and impact on a game in a second quarter. Well, Luke Jackson's just completely ripped it open. Yeah, you mentioned Brayshaw, but the way Luke Jackson's at half time, he's had 15 possessions, 8 score involvements and 2 goals for a half of football, and to go along with 4 clearances, and 3 of those were out of the centre. So it's just an enormous impact on the game. I was going to talk about this in the first quarter. What I like is Fremantle's defence. It looks workmanlike. Like, you look at the players that they've got down there. But what I love, they're very disciplined. When it's their turn to go with flair, they go. But when it's their actual turn to do the right thing, spoil the ball, get it through on the goal line for a rush behind, they're doing it right. And I think any good team that's in premiership contention, they have to be rock solid in defence. And you look at Fremantle's back 6 or 7, they are just rock solid.
Yeah.
Absolute pros in the way they go about it. Their captain, their captains have one possession for the game in Alex Pearce. So just, not a huge impact on the game, but then you look at the way Luke Ryan's playing, you look at the way Jordan Clark's
it's
playing.
a good balance, isn't it?
Warner, Wagner, the way
Chapman.
They're just organised. They're very, very organised back 6. And that's just going to hold him in good stead as the year progresses.
Yeah, and Oscar McDonald plays a role with Brennan Cox not there at the moment, doesn't he? So, couldn't be more impressed by the competition leaders at the moment. And unfortunately, certainly that quarter in particular, from North's point of view, they just didn't measure up.
No, and that's we spoke about it, Claude, before the game. Was like, well, here's another great test. Here's another great opportunity for North Melbourne just to see where you are.
Yeah.
It might not be about winning the game, but it's about, hey, we need to be in there for the last moment. Now, we're talking about a 54-point margin at 54? Yeah, 54-point margin at half-time here. Well, it's now either dig in, guys, and let's get some real respectability on the board, or this blows out to an 80, 90-point margin.
They don't look like a team who's had a week off, freshened up, and then come off, a stirring comeback performance the week before against the Gold Coast Suns.
They look like they just want to play offence today.
Yep.
That's what they are. They get to within a goal and then you go and allow 9 goals or 8 goals in a row, whatever it is.
And it's so noticeable that when good teams are up and going, as Fremantle are, that the little things that they do. You talk about how solid they're defensive, but even when they get on a fast break, it's never one guy running. It's always 2 or 3 guys, and the other people running don't necessarily always get used, or they might be there to lay a shepherd or whatever it turns out to be, but that they got the little things down at the moment, Fremantle, and the little things are the big things, as we see.
We better get to a break because Ben Cameron is demolishing the food in this box at the moment, and if we don't move, we're in all sorts.
All right, I'll let you get into it. Fremantle by 9 goals. It's half-time. Second half action only around the corner, but first, let's see what's happening in the ABC newsroom.
ABC News, hello, I'm Satyam Weinstein. Emergency services have been called to the scene of a reported shark attack off WA's south coast. The incident happened near Michaelmas Island off the coast of Albany. A diver has reportedly been bitten by a suspected 4.5-metre shark. The man, believed to be aged in his 30s, was taken by boat to the Albany Marina, where he received treatment from St John's ambulance paramedics. The incident comes almost 3 weeks after a 38-year-old man died while spearfishing at Rottnest Island off the coast of Perth. The US has launched fresh strikes on Iran, hitting coastal radar sites. Ali Crew has more.
The US military says the strikes come after it shot down a number of drones launched by Iran towards the Strait of Hormuz. American Central Command says it believes the drones were targeting shipping around the vital waterway. It comes as US President Donald Trump again claims the war is almost over, downplaying the seriousness of the conflict.
It's really not that much of a war, but it's a military conflict. It's a practice.
Meanwhile, the White House says visas have been granted for Iran's World Cup football squad just 10 days before their first match against New Zealand in Los Angeles. But the semi-official Iranian Fars news agency is reporting that visas for some of the team's support staff have still not been issued.
The Energy Minister has confirmed Australia has secured adequate fuel supplies through until August. The war in Iran has reduced availability of diesel and petrol worldwide. Chris Bowen says that 3.5 billion litres of fuel will be delivered over the next 4 weeks, with enough supplies to follow after that for a few more months.
That consists of 1.8 billion litres of diesel, 512 million litres of petrol, 468 million litres of jet fuel and 709 million litres of crude oil. This is all pretty consistent. Some are slightly up, some are slightly down, but pretty consistent with every weekly update.
Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and his New Zealand counterpart have met with business leaders from both countries during an annual leaders meeting in Queensland. Christopher Luxon is visiting Noosa on the Sunshine Coast, where the pair are holding talks on defence in the Indo-Pacific as well as economic resilience. Standing with Mr Luxon at a press conference after the meeting, Mr Albanese was full of praise.
I think it was one of the most effective business meetings that I've had as Prime Minister, I've got to say. It was very sharp. And a lot of work went into the preparation, clearly, to make sure it was a very effective use of our time. And I thank the Australian business leaders as well.
Police are investigating a home invasion in Sydney's southwest after 4 men allegedly broke into a house and severed a man's left hand. Emergency services were called to a home at Greenacre in the early hours of this morning, where a 23-year-old was found with a severed hand. Police say 4 men in a dark-coloured SUV allegedly stole a large sum of cash from the family home, with a mother, father and 2 other sons who were uninjured. There's been pushback in the UK after US Vice President J.D. Vance blamed the stabbing death of an 18-year-old on civilisational decline and the mass invasion of migrants. There's been controversy over a video of the dying man being handcuffed by police after his killer falsely accused him of a racist attack. Earlier this week, 23-year-old Vikram Digwal was sentenced to life in prison over the killing of Henry Nowak. The British Minister for Children and Families, Josh McAllister, says the UK doesn't need any advice from American politicians.
There are people who are trying to import that kind of toxic politics here into the UK, and I don't want to have anything to do with it. That sort of whipping up of hatred and division is exactly what Mark, Henry's dad, has called on us not to indulge in.
British actor Anthony Head, known for his roles in Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Ted Lasso, has died, aged 72. The BBC's Lisa Mzimba has more.
Into each generation, a slayer is born. One girl in all the world, a chosen one born with a
strength and skill to hunt the vampires.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer won Anthony Head millions of fans.
You've accepted your duty. You've slain vampires before.
The supernatural show was especially popular with teenagers who strongly related to its metaphorical message that high school could be hell.
I've run out of coffee.
Smooth and suave, he first found fame in a series of adverts in the 1980s.
Will Gold Blend be too good for your guests?
And in more recent years, his fan base crossed generations yet again with Ted Lasso. One of the most gifted and popular actors of his generation, he'll be sadly missed.
ABC News. Get more news at any time. Download the ABC Listen app.
Adventure awaits Little Ears with free audiobooks.
Most intriguing.
Like the 13-story Treehouse.
How do you turn this thing off?
And The Wind in the Willows.
The best stories in the world.
Find free audiobooks for Little Ears on the ABC Listen app.
Meet the builder of dreams.
It's a great honour to be leading Tasmania's new football club.
Sam Pang's brand new office comedy, Ground Up.
Time to make a little history.
Ground Up starts Sunday, June 7 on ABC TV and ABC iView.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Rachel runs back the other way, gives it up to Switkowski. High towering kick inside 50, looking for a marker. Tracy goes up, punched away by Comben, comes down at ground level. Dudley, something out of nothing. Squeezes it through. Brayshaw, who's run on. In the shadows of the grandstand, kicks up the half forward for Freo. Amos can't take the mark. Ricochets out to Voss, feeds the handball forward. Switkowski on the burst, helicopter spin, straight through the middle. O'Meara kicks into the pocket, and there's Tracy. Fremantle's three-headed monster getting busy. Tracy's drop punt is through the middle, and this game is getting away from North Melbourne. On the throw-in, Cox trying to flick it to the back. Young bursting through, snaps the goal. Fremantle at their best. Bolton retreating, hooks the kick across his body. Well gathered by Switkowski. Turns around his man easily. Off to Jackson. Action Jackson from 50. A goal. And they're all action Fremantle. 8 in a row.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Sounds there from the second term where the Dockers completely busted this game open. They kicked 8 unanswered goals. After North Melbourne got within 6 points, it was overwhelming, really, in the space of 20 minutes, 8 goals, and that has broken this game wide open. Fremantle is the notional road team here against North Melbourne, who have sold 2 home games to Western Australia. And the Kangaroos 4-4-28 planted on that score. The Dockers way out in front, 13-4-82. So Fremantle by 9 goals at the half. Corbin Middlemass alongside Ben Cameron. Ray Chamberlain's here. Luke Ball and Adam Ramanaskas, your call team. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. First of 3 games today, of course, still to come. The Q Clash up in southeast Queensland on the Gold Coast. And then later tonight, the West Coast Eagles up against Port Adelaide. So pretty rare 2 games for premiership points in Western Australia on the same day. But that's what we got today with the Eagles up in Perth up against Port Adelaide later. Donnie from Spearwood. Great call, boys. Just at work, heading back home to get ready with my grandson for the game tonight. Go the Eagles. Thanks, Donnie. Appreciate that.
When I lived in WA, Donnie from Spearwood was a rusted-on listener to the rival radio network in Perth.
Right.
So, Saturday Arvo team, we've won him over.
He's flipped. I like that.
The great Donnie.
Followed you across. Neil from Coburg. I believe North are on the right track. At home performing well, but go missing on the road. Still 50% off the pace leaders. More better performances in 2026. Will take 2 more years from Neil in Coburg.
It might be right, but quarters like that, and I think Alistair would say that they would, supporters would be entitled to think that they've moved beyond quarters like that, I would have thought, than the one against Adelaide. So we're still seeing that a little bit. I agree that they're still on a journey and they're a couple of years away, but yeah, that was disappointing.
AFL Saturday with Luke Ball, Mick Malthouse, myself, Corbin Middlemass. Of course, the award-winning, you can find it. Catch up anytime through ABC AFL Daily, ABC AFL Daily, wherever you get your podcasts. Earlier today, Luke Beveridge joined us. He had this reflection on last night's win over the Hawks.
The players came away from our gather-round game against Hawthorn extremely jaded and a little bit emotional about what went on field. We felt like Hawthorn definitely had an advantage in the physical stakes, almost stood over us a little bit. And so it was almost like last night's game was on delay. I think the players, and I personally built the game up as a bit of a line in the sand. They've had our measure for a while, and so maybe some of the spot fires at half time and the things that went on in the first half was a reminder to the players of what they probably needed to do. And we intended to start that way, but didn't. So it's a real credit to the group to be able to collect their thoughts and impose themselves in a more of a pressured way in that second half.
Luke Beveridge, the coach of the Bulldogs, earlier today on AFL Saturday, which you can find through ABC AFL Daily, as Ben so eloquently told us just before the news. It's home of your footy conversation.
Well, let's see what happens here. Let's see what tricks Alistair Clark.
Well, a response. That's what that needs to happen.
Yeah. Well, we saw at half time, when things were going a similar way against the Gold Coast 2 weeks ago. He spun the magnets a little bit. See if he's going to do something like that. It just feels like, though, Rammer, it's all around intensity. It's about dying. And sometimes it's interesting, young team, you go over to a place like that where you've got to generate your own intensity. You can't feed off the crowd or your home ground, whatever it is. It really has felt like they've gone over there and come out like it's a pre-season game, just going through the motions. So over to them to respond here.
Underway in the third quarter, tapped down by Sherry. The clearance goes the way of the Dockers, though. Brayshaw tumbles it up towards half forward. Murphy Reid ends up gathering easily, chips inside 50, and Voss marks. Comes out and takes it, 40 out, slight angle right of centre.
Same again.
Normal transmission resumes.
Yeah. Well, again, the centre bounce. I think, Rammer, we said at half time, I don't think Cherry can jump up in the ruck against Luke Jackson. He's just hitting it back. It's a classic.
Luke Jackson's too skillful for it.
It's a classic 6 o'clock hit. No pressure on the exit. And, you feel for the Kangaroos defenders there a little bit. Not a heap that you can do with the ball coming out unpressured like that.
Patrick Voss, drop punt, right.
A bit close to the man on the mark a couple of times, Paddy Voss today.
Misses right. Fremantle's lead back out to 55, an equal game high. 1 minute into the third term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Q clash to come. Eagles power later tonight. 55-point lead for Fremantle. Short kick into the back pocket to Daniel. Back to McKercher. And McKercher still just chips into the defensive arc to Combat. He pulls the trigger, goes long to Trembath in a one-on-one, and Pearce trying to wrestle it from him. The mark will be paid for the Fremantle skipper. And Alex Pearce, second game back for the Dockers. Turns 31 on Tuesday. Freo with the switch through their hands.
That's crept up.
He's been around for, feels like forever. He was drafted in 2013.
Feels like he's only hit his straps really over the last few years, though.
So many injuries, didn't he?
The ball went all the way out towards that eastern wing. Now it's back in the western wing, and broadcast side taken by Clark in the shade. He chips it back inboard to Chapman. 55-point lead for Fremantle. The Kangaroos got within a goal in that second term, and then Fremantle just powered away, kicking the last 8 in the game. Comes wide to Ryan. He's down the boundary line. Still in the shadows. Finds Erasmus. Still no sign of Riley Hardiman too, who is getting checked out after that heavy landing late in the second. Kick inside the forward 50 for the Dockers, and Voss has got his hands on it again. Stood in front of the pack with the Elephants coming behind him, and he's got it right half forward for Freo.
Yeah, just a bit too easy. Slow play build up there. Just have a look how that came about. How just used his body really that time. And poor Luke McDonald, they're having to hide him a little bit. He moved across after that first shot at goal from Voss. He was on Amos, but Voss too strong. Really is an imposing forward half, isn't it? This Fremantle team.
Hard working.
He's the perfect third guy in that three-headed monster, Patrick Voss, from 48 metres out, touched by the man on the mark. And Luke McDonald lands in the lap of Logue, and he pumps it back out of there against his old team.
Going up, Warner unable to take the mark. Ball hits the deck and a free kick. No, ball up.
Well, he needs to go out and remeasure his run-up, Paddy Voss. Yeah. His last 3 shots, he's kicked it way too close. And that time, well done, Luke McDonald.
Needs to get the old silhouettes out at training and practice kicking over the mark as North emerge with it through Davies Uniacke. His chip into the middle, just a cold turnover. Dockers take it back. Chapman kicks up the pipe towards full forward. Logue does well, halves the contest, allows in Davies Uniacke. Clear and kick out towards the back flank, bouncing ball, and gathered by Stevens. He'll stop, prop and kick around the wing. Spargo accepts it. Veers out, runs around the man on the mark, tight ropes the boundary line, kicks around it, and Zurha takes it. Now North can go. Long kick inside 50. Darling's out the back. Pearce closing late. Great defensive effort. Spoils it out of play. And the near 31-year-old gets it out of bounds for a throw in right forward pocket. For the Kangas, Fremantle by 55, 4 minutes into this third term.
Taswegian, isn't he?
He is.
Boundary throw in. Just looking for my binoculars. Just misplaced those from the boundary throw in. Brayshaw hand pass away to Bolton. Gets it back again. Bolton's hand pass back to Brayshaw. Handball down the wing to Corey Wagner, who's off and moving. A former Kangaroo. He chips it down to half forward, trying to find Voss. Punched away at the back. Frederick front and centre where he needs to be. They're all streaming downhill, and Switkowski's out the back and marks 20 out from goal, just right of centre.
Downhill is right.
Yeah, too good.
I mean, it's superb ball movement. Again, the lack of pressure, though. Paddy Voss, I'm going to give him the credit for that. He did. He tapped it down, didn't he? Instead of trying to mark it. Really clever player. They're just honest, aren't they? You said it at half-time. They're both behind the footy, so you think back to Pearce. His effort to affect the spoil, go over and support a teammate. And then Keith Ford's playing in front. So predictable, bringing the ball to the front. Smalls at ground level, and smart players, Switkowski.
This would be 3 for the day. He knocks it through. And the Dockers are out beyond 10 goals. 9 unanswered majors for Fremantle. 14-5 to 4-4. 61 points to the difference. 6 gone in the third term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Our premiership pair, Adam Ramanauskas and Luke Ball.
The issue that I have with that, with North Melbourne, there's more than enough time to reset here, Bally. They're not running back hard. You know, they're not. Dylan Stevens there, just caught ball watching. Simpkin caught ball watching. Dersma not really pushing back hard, but looking like you're defensively transitioning, but you're not really. You're not actually going, well, I want to have an impact here. I actually want to get to a player. So it's sort of one of those ones where review the tape on Monday and they go, yeah, I was doing my role. It's why they're going to stay in mediocrity, North Melbourne.
So how do you fix it? Is that incumbent on those meetings to call it out?
Get them out of the team and make a point of it.
Fremantle by 61, margin as big as it's been. Kick to half forward for North from Davies Uniacke. Spargo loses the footy. Caught holding the ball by Andy Brayshaw.
And when people ask why, you be honest and say, well, this is why this particular player is out of the team.
No sugarcoating. Huh? Dockers away down the eastern wing. Handball from Clark to Murphy-Reid. Back to Clark. Paddles it on, and Frederick comes in to help out. Keeps it in play. The purple still with it. Back to Wagner by hand. He'll kick into the pocket out wide, very low down. Amos can't take the mark, and it's out of play for a throw-in.
The opposite is clear to see, Benny. So up the other end of the ground, Alex Pearce, desperate. You know, you're talking about 60 points up to get there, to sprint in defence so Darling doesn't mark the ball.
I like you in this mood, Rammer. I don't feel like you're never one for hyperbole or go over the top, but clearly it feels like for you that a lot of these issues for North today isn't just a difference in class, it's a difference in application.
Yeah, it's self-inflicted by North Melbourne.
But it is one thing to get outclassed by a better team.
You can't coach effort.
Yeah.
It's impossible to coach effort. Players either going to want it to do it or not.
Larkey marks on the wing, kicks down to Spargo, chips it to half forward, finds Darling against the boundary line. 61 points, Fremantle's lead. Early in the third, Darling centering kick, and Jackson back there to pick it off at centre half back. Ray Chamberlain.
Yeah, we've got an update on Riley Hardiman, guys. He'll be out of the game. Concussion, failed that test. So
he looked fine running off, Ray, didn't he?
He did, but that back of the head onto the ground in that contest.
It's no good at all. One of the 5 West Australians, this Caversham lad from Swan Districts. So Riley Hardiman concussed, and will obviously rule him out of the local game next week as well.
He kicks up to the wing, off the hands of the pack, out the back it goes. And Big Tracy met by the Bull Zerha. A couple of big boys going at it.
Well, I mean, it's the first time we've seen any real aggression from a North Melbourne player.
Ends up in a free kick for Tracy. Got him a little high. Tracy short kick infield on the 45 to Judd McVie, who darts off with it. Looking like his namesake as he runs away with the footy. Kicks inside 50. Stevens drops the mark. Allows the Dockers in. Amos gathers. Handball for Voss. Runs into trouble. Tackled quickly. Ball spits out. North have the numbers. They work it out through low to Luke McDonald. Fit of the fumbles. Dockers back on it, but they turn it over. Young handballs it away to Sheasel, and his kick, a shocking turnover. They give it straight back to the Dockers at centre half forward. Clark, he'll kick to full forward. Dudley's at the back. Zerha squirrels it away. And again, North at full back. They work it out through Parker to Fisher to Curtis, and now Stevens.
Stevens kicks out of defence, finds Sheasel at half back. Little milestone for Dill Stevens today, by the way. His 50th game for North, and Corey Wagner's playing his 50th club game for Fremantle. He started his career with the Kangaroos and then ended up at Melbourne before making his way west.
Before that, he was a part of the Brisbane Lions Academy. So he's done it the hard way.
It was Aspley, wasn't he? Yeah, out of the Neefle. The Roos work it down that boundary line on the eastern side. Larkey, Curtis, Trembath, all their forwards involved, and they've still got a way to go. Short kick to Spargo. Everyone's got to run back and double back again, offer another lead. They're still 70 metres out from goal. Spargo kicks inside the attacking 50 on the hop, got to Darling. He's shoved out of bounds. Ray Chamberlain.
Yeah, Rami, you made a really good point about Hardiman when he came off the ground and this whole notion around concussion and the testing protocols. A player can present looking really well and yet not pass it. And I think as we continue to learn more, obviously the players' welfare is always the number one thing as the league evolves in that space.
Spot on. But, safety first with these players. You got to protect them from themselves sometimes.
Imagine he's down in the rooms at the moment, just getting ready to have a shower and freshen up. He's coming out of defence. Murphy Reed's kicks a good one, finds Cox, takes a powerful mark. He's got it at half back. It's a 61-point lead for Fremantle. Shares it with Brayshaw.
He's had a bit of it today, Brayshaw. 22nd disposal there. Been busy. Finds Frederick. Tight ropes the boundary line with his kick for Bolton. Taking more of a leadership role around the club this year, Shea Bolton, they tell me. Very vocal in how he's leading the club, and he chips it to Murphy Reed, 49 metres out. He'll veer out, play on, either goals, bring it back on the breeze. Murphy Reed, he's different. Fremantle by 67. 15-5-92, plays 4-4-28. He's got a couple. And Fremantle, 10 out of 10. The last 10 goals in the game. Luke Ball and Adam Ramanauskas.
So, Bally, effectively what North Melbourne are allowing is Fremantle's high half forwards to go up the field. But then, look, you have McKercher there. He just doesn't want to run. I hate to point it out, and I don't like going down the negative path, but it's so obvious what North Melbourne aren't doing in this game. The work rate is just not there. Yeah. So it's one thing to allow the half forwards to come up, But then when they run past you, you've actually got to put your head down and chase them.
He started in line. He ran past Mason Cox for the handball, didn't get it, kept running and ran past it. The Kangaroos look like a team who need the bite going into the bite, don't they? Rather than one who's fresh off it. It's
so second time in 3 games the Kangaroos have conceded runs of 10 consecutive goals. Adelaide did it to them. They had a win against the Suns, and now Fremantle have kicked the last 10 in the game. Davies Uniacke got it going forward, but it's picked off and a ball up.
Just halt your progress so much, because now the review is all about the effort and what you should be doing, rather than the good parts of it, the tactical stuff, the structure stuff.
Freo from the stoppage. Wagner away towards Clark. He's in a bit of bother. Lost it. Davies Uniacke picks it up. Tackled ball up. Centre half forward for the Roos. Just repeating, Riley Hardiman failed his HIA. Out of the game with concussion. Jackson and Dawson in a tangle. Ball spills to Sheasel. Handball to Constanti. Hurried kick to full forward. Darling. Mark not paid. Handball away to Larkey. Larkey snaps. Floats goalward. It misses.
Touched off the boot.
So it's 15-5 to 4-5, and the drought continues. It's been over 40 minutes since North Melbourne's last goal. It doesn't change here. Fremantle lead it by 66 points. 13 minutes played in the third term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Short kick into the pocket from Warner to Clark to Murphy-Reid. Working defensively here on the back flank. Nicknamed Bruce for obvious reasons. The tall left armour, former Australian cricketer. Moves it on to Warner again. Another cricket name. Different spelling. Kicks up towards the wing.
Corb saw his as well, I think.
Bolton sweeps the handball forward to Erasmus. Dockers up over halfway. Handball there for O'Driscoll. Fighting through a tackle. Gets the handball inside 50. Dudley, big collision with Luke McDonald. The Roo wins it. His handball out for Caleb Daniel. Nearly pants there, but he gets it out to Simpkin. Chain of handballs. Hot potato play the Kangas. Luke McDonald makes it his again. And then Dawson dumps it on the boot. Clear and kick.
Dawson looking for Tremba. Punched away by Carl Warner and out of bounds right on halfway. Boundary throwing.
Outstanding by Luke McDonald.
Two great efforts. It stood out, didn't it?
Yeah.
We just haven't seen it today, did we? So, great efforts. Putting body on the line.
I reckon I'd be 15 years older than Murphy-Reid, and I never saw Bruce Reid play, so I can only imagine what he would be thinking.
I feel I still remember
the nickname Bruce.
The 12th man and Bruce Reid. That's hilarious. Do yourself a favour.
Yoen O'Meara, hand pass through to O'Driscoll. Sweeps a hand pass into the centre square. There's a free kick. I think O'Driscoll was dumped after getting rid of it. He's downfield free for Fremantle.
But they say, Ray's laughing, I can hear him in my mic, so brought the sticky tape out. Tape him up.
I'm really enjoying his own day.
Benny, I guarantee you, if you listen to the 12th man or the 12th man again, you will love it.
I had the CD as a kid, I mean.
Oh.
I was probably a bit young for a few of the references.
So funny.
I'm a 70s child, and then I'm not going to lie, Rabba, number one seed.
Freo by 11 goals. Luke Ryan's got it in a slow play. We've had only 2 goals in this third term, which is 15 minutes old. Short kick to Erasmus. Hand pass goes back to Ryan, the All-Australian, who just bangs it 60 metres further afield. They come from all directions. Ball hits the deck. Logue's got it. Tackled by Voss, taken the ground. And, of course, Paddy Voss keen to go on with it. Shoves him in the chest up the lane, the tackle.
Was another rip coming in the jumper here.
I'll have to have a different number. They won't have a third number 20 jumper. Jackson palming it down. Clear and kick from Caleb Daniel. Tumbles it up to the wing. Darling, nice mark. Back home in WA. Freo by 66 points. As Corbin mentioned, second time in 3 games that North have conceded 10 straight goals. Short on to Spargo, who goes back to Luke McDonald. Second generation Kanga. One back flank to the other. Hangs it in the air. Just gets it to Comben, who takes off with it. The 200-centimetre defender. Sweeps the handball to Simpkin. He sweeps the handball forward to Parker. Gets it back now, Simpkin. Running on to half forward. Pokes it inside 50. Larkey nearly, not quite. Sheasel picks it up. Out to Constanti. To Simpkin on the left. Misses to the left-hand side. A touch casual. Fremantle by 65. 16 and a half into the third term. Ray Chamberlain. Concerning signs on the Fremantle bench at the moment.
Little bit of work down on in the shades there with the physiotherapist. Just a little bit of a hamstring check. I'll give you a shout out if I get any development there.
Hayden Young, they're just working on there?
It is.
Oh, well, you put him on ice, wouldn't you?
Wouldn't even risk it.
This is over. Training drill this now.
He's had all sorts of issues with those hammies, Hayden Young. He's got the longest contract in club history. He's coming back from missing 3 games with concussion, the 25-year-old. Having the strings worked on. Get ready to watch that closely. 65-point lead for the Dockers. Ryan gives a handball away to McVee. Up over halfway to O'Driscoll. Back to McVee. Hits the ground running. 2 bounces. He is a Judd. He kicks goalward to the behind line, and Tracy's got it. He marks right on the behind line for Fremantle.
Can't stop the ball, North Melbourne.
And for the modern player, this is...
He's only got... Keep coming back. He's only got to kick it 5 metres.
It's a high percentage kick. He's a right footer. He's basically on the behind line in front of the left behind post. He's gone back a long way. Arcs around, snaps, Tracy, goals. An 11-game win streak and 11 consecutive goals to match. Fremantle 16-5. They lead North Melbourne 4-6. The lead is out to 71 points. 18 minutes gone in the third.
Oh, yeah, this will be a bad watch again. Luke Ryan had so much time. He didn't know. He almost wigged himself out. He didn't know what to do.
His tackle.
He was going across the goal, and the corridor opened up. He thought, OK, well, I'll take it up there. And Judd McVee, that was terrific. Again, straight up the corridor. Almost deserved the goal. And Tracy just marking it on the line.
You got to press. You can't just let Luke Ryan take 3 bounces through the middle of the ground and then allow him time to make a decision.
They were once called Go Slow Freo. They've now booted more than 100 points 9 times in 12 games this year.
In a lot of different ways. That's the beauty of them at the moment. They can dial it up and go fast through the corridor like that, or with their key forwards, they can take their medicine and kick longer contests as well. It's just a really well-balanced team at the moment.
Freo won it on the wing. Erasmus, high fend off on Simpkin. North Melbourne ball. North's last goal 7 minutes into the second term. We are 19 minutes into the third term.
That was to get it back to a 6-point margin, Benny.
Yeah, it's now 71. Sheasel takes it, goes back to Zerha, who goes back to the defensive point of the square, and Comben kicks across the defensive edge of the square, overshoots Griffin Lowe. He'll track it, zigging, zagging, corralled by Amos. Retreats again, back to Fisher. And the slippery fish darts back inside defensive 50 and then has to exit with a short kick away to Luke McDonald.
Centering kick finds Zerha. Very disappointing display from the Kangas. One thing to be outplayed, but their effort has been questioned and analysed by our analysts all afternoon. As the kick goes down to high half forward, Darling turns it inside out and then chips it looking for Sherry, broken up out of play, half forward for the Roos.
Well, if you got fans over there and you're selling the game.
Yeah, disappointing for them.
Well, and they're making a decision who to support. It's pretty evident who you're supporting today, if you had a choice.
It's got a message 3 moments ago saying it's a bit warm in the sun, 18 degrees. But I imagine if you're sitting in the sun for large periods, it's certainly something that's not a problem back in the Kangaroos native in Melbourne.
Chambo's taken the jumper off, so it must be warmish down there.
71 points. Murphy Reid first disposal. Straight to Sheasel, though. Handball away to Trembath. Hand pass to Fisher. His hand pass back into dispute. Brayshaw knocks it out. Dudley scoops up a handball. Centre half back for the Dockers. Ryan to Tracy. Now to McVee. A bit of run and gun. 3 bounces for Judd McVee. Still going. Hangs a handball out wide to Erasmus. Gets it back on the 1-2.
Goes back to McVee, who goes forward now. Handball away towards Wagner. Caught. Possibly holding the ball, just got rid of it as Spargo tackled him. Out to Brayshaw, might have thrown it out to Swikowski. Back to Wagner, tackled again. Gets the crocodile roll from Zerha a couple of times, and the umpire comes in to ball it up.
As they let them off the hook there. First time the Kangaroos actually showed a bit of defensive intensity.
Bit of shinbone spirit.
Yeah.
There is the shinbone spirit. There and kick from Zerha. Up towards half forward, foot race on, Larkey tracking it. Socket on by Curtis. Chapman tracks it back, he's there for the Dockers, paddles to his own advantage. Inside defensive 50, Freo. Picking it up, Warner, caught by Curtis. Could be holding the ball, umpire lets them play. And Larkey ends up with the footy. You could see that one, Ray. That was
That's fish.
Close to you, holding the ball.
Looked like a prior opportunity, legally tackled, failed to dispose by hand or foot.
The whistle doesn't go North's way from the restart. McKercher trying to knock it down in front of Simpkin. Brayshaw breaks it up. Handball away to Young, so good news, he's back out there. Hand pass to Voss. Trying to break a tackle, lost the pill, picked up by Chapman. He's rolled over in the Curtis tackle. And the umpire blows his whistle and says, I'll have it. Fremantle by 71 points. They've kicked the last 11 goals. We're 22 minutes into the third. Clearing kick, Brayshaw out of defence. Tumbles a kick up the wing. Dawson got his shin to it. Knocks it back to Zerha. Dumps a kick into the forward pocket. Larkey trying to get there on the hop. He's bowled over. Chapman, was he taken in the back? No. And Curtis ends up with the footy as he attracts a crowd.
Larkey again, he's just got to be stronger. You can tell he's out of form, out of confidence, and when players, it's a bit of a tell, they go to ground a bit too easily.
Forward pocket for the Roos. Wagner locked up. We'll do it all again.
It actually looks like his fitness is not there. Now he's just a step behind, or he hasn't got that second effort.
Sherry grabs it out of the ruck. Tackled, dispossessed. Spills down to Constanti. Shoots goalward. Misses everything. Out of bounds on the full. Fremantle by 71.
Sorry, Colin. So we're judging him harshly, but he's a skipper.
He's a good player.
So yeah, we've seen what it's like when he's at his best. Yeah. You know, he can be a dominant force. It's just completely out of sorts at the moment.
Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Dockers off the back flank. Oh! Trimber! With springs in his shoes, went up, didn't quite control the mark down. Got to hold it for a long time these days. Right, according to last night, as there's a holding the ball on the wing. Fremantle ball, Tracy applying the tackle on Parker.
Well, there's a key forward with full head of confidence. That's just terrific stuff from the big fella.
It's up to Voss at half forward. Fremantle searching for a 12th consecutive goal. Voss with the centering kick. Frederick. It was like a tracer bullet. And it just homed in on Michael Frederick, who clunks at 20 out slide angle.
Again, just so impressed with these key forwards. The key forwards.
How's Frederick free?
Yeah, running that fat side wing or high half forward. Again, it's the discipline you're talking about. They're all playing their roles so well. But again, it was the physical pressure from Tracy, the work rate from Voss, and ends up with Frederick.
Frederick comes in, count them up, make it 12 unanswered goals to the Dockers. They lead by 77 points. 2 for Fast Freddy. 17-5, 107 plays 4-6-30. 24 minutes into the third. Just to run you through it again if you've just joined us. Wardlaw Gold, 7 minutes into the second. North trailed by one straight kick at that point in time. Fremantle are booted the next 12 to lead by 77.
It's just work rate, isn't it? Again, Frederick,
it's Caleb Daniel.
Burned off Daniel.
Absolutely, it's Caleb Daniel.
Started side by side, and it's just work rate, isn't it? So, yep, it's what a very good team does, doesn't it? Exposing just an also ran at the moment, the Kangaroos. And I mean, they're in a great position, the Dockers, aren't they? Because players now know that if they don't play their role, if they don't bring their work boots, there's someone ready to take their spot.
Certainly.
It's been a revealing day for the Kangas too. Yeah. When the goings got tough, they didn't want to do it today, as McKercher got a handball out towards Zerha, who bangs it from one side of the centre square to the other, up to half forward, but Clark's back, the All-Australian, to take the intercept mark.
And the other part, for free, it's been a pretty bruise-free game.
Yeah.
They're running up a score. They got the week off next week, and then we'll see Fremantle Sunday week at the MCG, where they play Richmond. They'll start the hottest of favourites there. Short kick towards Young, but the Hammies worked on earlier, but he's playing on. Kicks to a contest down at half forward, slips out the back to Logue, to his fellow Sandgroper and Fisher. Kicks off the right peg. Up the wing. Dersma crashes the pack, no mark, spills to Daniel at the drop. Handball to Trembath, handball out wide to Stevens. He doesn't want to go off the right side, gives a handball back to Daniel. Daniel trying to work his way through traffic. Big leg, Switkowski brings it down, knocks it in the direction of Clark. Switkowski goes and gets it again. Handball to Young, Freo back with it. Hand pass away to Brayshaw. He threads it through to O'Meara on the logo eastern wing.
O'Meara moves it on towards O'Driscoll. Onto Jackson, flicks it to Warner. He'll kick out wide for the Dockers. And Erasmus. 2 kicks from home, Freo by 77. Erasmus kicks into the pocket, well weighted, and not quite. O'Driscoll drops the mark, room to recover. Gives it back to Dudley, who casually chips inside 50. Tracy bundles over his opponent. Spills out towards Logue of North Melbourne in defence. Kicks beyond defensive 50. And the Dockers take it back through Dudley.
Dudley dishes off a handball. Murphy Reid. Low trajectory kick inside 50. Good pick up Logue. Intercepted for North. Handball to McKercher. Handball to Stevens. Hand pass away to Sheasel. He sweeps one back to Trembath. Some indecision going forward. North very slowly trying to transition from the back half up forward, but they look knackered in the latter stages of the third term.
You sure it's 18 degrees? It's not 28? They do. They look gassed, don't they, Court? There'll be a lot of chasing.
Dersma kicks down the wing and Larky marks. And that will do us. The Kangaroos with a goalless third term. They've kicked only 2 behinds in the quarter. Their last goal came at the 7-minute mark of the second term. And in the interim, the Dockers, who are hunting 12 straight wins, have kicked 12 unanswered goals. Three-quarter time, Fremantle 17-5. They lead North Melbourne 4-6. The margin is 77 points in favour of Fremantle at three-quarter time. The goal kickers, there's a boatload of them. Tracy's got 3, Switkowski 3, 2 to Jackson, 2 to Reid, and then 2 to Frederick. Meanwhile, singles for Voss, Amos, Young, Erasmus and Dudley. For North Melbourne, it hasn't changed in a while. Trembath, Larky, Darling and Wardlaw all with 1 each. Ray Chamberlain, North Melbourne 1 short. They did lose a player just before half-time.
Yeah, Hardiman obviously was unable to pass his concussion test. Will take no further part in the game. And they do look flat, don't they? I know travelling over to Perth back in the day, it was always hotter. It didn't matter what time of the year it was. It always felt hotter over there. And we did mention the larger ground, but they do very much look like they've been chasing tail all day, which they have been.
Freo by 13 at quarter time, 54 at the half, and now 77 at three-quarter time. Your thoughts off the SMS next, plus more from Rama and Bawley. This is Saturday Footy on ABC Sport.
Are there any winners in the cost of living crisis? What's causing the algal bloom?
Questions. They've never been more important. So the one thing we'll never question is our duty to keep asking. ABC News. Keep asking.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Corey Wagner, who's often moving, a former Kangaroo. He chips it down to half forward, trying to find Voss. Punched away at the back. Frederick front and centre where he needs to be. They're all streaming downhill. And Switkowski's out the back and marks 20 out from goal, just right of centre. This would be 3 for the day. He knocks it through. And the Dockers are out beyond 10 goals.
Frederick right ropes the boundary line with his kick for Bolton. Chips it to Murphy Reid, 49 metres out. He'll veer out, play on. Either goals, bring it back on the breeze. Murphy Reid, he's different.
Ryan gives a handball away to McVee. Up over halfway to O'Driscoll. Back to McVee. Hits the ground running. 2 bounces. He is a Judd. He kicks goalward to the behind line and Tracy's got it. He marks, arcs around, snaps. Tracy goals.
Voss with his centering kick. Frederick. It was like a tracer bullet. And it just homed in on Michael Frederick. Frederick comes in. Count them up. Make it 12 unanswered goals to the Dockers.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Fremantle by 77 through 3. It's the first of 3 games today. Saturday Footy on ABC Sport. Coming up next, we're off to southeast Queensland. It is Queensland Day, which means there's all these Queensland rivalries across the various codes, and Quentin Hull is across all of them for us on ABC Sport. G'day, Hully.
6th of June, 1859. We weren't there when Queen Victoria said, "Ye shall colonise yourselves and be able to make laws independent of New South Wales." That's why we've got all of these Queensland rivalries on the 6th of June, celebrating Queensland Day. Remember the narrative at the start of the season? All roads to the 2026 Premiership had to go through southeast Queensland. Well, obviously, we've had near on half a season of footy to add a bit more context to what's always interesting pre-season talk. But boy, aren't the reigning champions struggling at the moment? They've lost their last 3 and have made 3 changes at selection. 2 of them forced through injury. Hugh McCluggage is out for the next potentially 6 weeks with a calf injury. Kadeen Coleman's out with a hamstring injury as well, and Cody Curtin's got the chop. We'll see Darragh Joyce and Jimmy Tunstall return to the team, and Shadow Brain play his first game in the AFL since late 2024. So 3 changes for the 6 and 6 premiers. Also 3 changes for the Suns, with Lockie Weller, Will Graham coming back in, and Jai Murray, another youngster from the Gold Coast, to make his debut today, with Sam Clasey, Nick Holman and Zeke Hewlin all dropped that selection. The Suns have had a week to lick their wounds after blowing a 43-point lead to North Melbourne. So off the bye, the Suns 7-4, the Lions 6-6. Conditions are perfect, and we're going to have a sellout here. So instalment 31 of the Q Clash promises to be an interesting one, and you'd suggest, Corby, a pretty nourishing one when it comes to the context of the fight for the flag in 2026.
And Q, it's not often all the codes are on the same page, but in the NRL, in the Super Netball, all the Queensland teams are in crosstown rivalries today.
Yeah, it's ridiculous when you've got someone like me who works across them all. I can only be at one place and one time. The Premier's very selfish. He doesn't think of me at all.
It's amazing that they've got all the fixtures to work, but we've got the Broncos up against the Titans. The Dolphins are playing the team in Townsville, the Cowboys, and then the Lightning involved as well up against the Firebirds in the Super Netball. So Queensland Day, get around it from our perspective, obviously here from an AFL viewpoint. It's the Q Clash, which is on deck next. Later tonight, the Eagles and the Power, 2 games for premiership points in Western Australia on the same day. This one looks just about a wrap. Luke Ball and Adam Ramanaskas through 3, Fremantle by 77. They've kicked a dozen in a row.
Yeah, well, it's certainly a wrap, I think, because we're not seeing any effort, any will from North Melbourne to really want to change the momentum in that game, albeit it was 4-0 only in that quarter, but it was the ease in which they kicked a couple of those goals. Like inside 50s for 14-7 Fremantle's way, plus 22 uncontested possessions. So that's always evident to me that if your uncontested possessions are up, like plus 15, plus 20, it just shows you're not willing to do the work defensively. And that's where I think North Melbourne have really lacked. The review should be brutal because I think there's some real evidence that can show guys not working hard, not willing to put the work in. Fremantle, on the other hand, I think it's now just about let's just get through this last quarter unscathed.
It's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, get through, or how ruthless can we be here? Or defensively, in terms of, are we just going to put the Q in the rack and let them kick 5 or 6 easy ones, or can we be really ruthless and put this team away? And from the Kangaroos' point of view, you're right. The review is going to be brutal, but can we find any sort of pride in this last quarter?
Sherry palms it down to start the final turn, but straight to Hayden Young. Drives a kick inside 50 for the Dockers. Bolton collects, runs into Voss, his own teammate. Gives a handball back to Corey Wagner, who's 60 metres out. Centering kick, picked off by Load. In back pocket for North. Off the SMS. Fran says, thanks for the call and the special comments. Don't take this as criticism. When is Alistair Clarkson's contract up? Remember, your comments about the Pies last week were spot on from Fran. There's North trying clear, picked off by Brayshaw, high half forward, hand pass to Wagner, handball away to Voss from the dead pocket. It's alive for him. Make it 13 in a row.
Give us something, Vossy.
And Paddy Voss with a very reserved reaction. It's like shelling peas for him out there. He's kicked his second of the day. Then Fremantle's lead grows to 83. They've kicked the last 13, 18-5 to 4-6. 60 seconds travelled final turn.
Well, Paulie, you look at the first inside 50 for Fremantle in this the final quarter. It should have been an easy uncontested mark to Zerha. Swakowski comes from nowhere just to spoil that ball. So we talk about putting the Q in the rack and relaxing. Well, it doesn't feel like that at all.
No, not at all. And just their work rate, the ability to be the next one at the contest. Fremantle is so impressive again. Just they're outnumbered. They always seem to have the next one there, either to have a pressure relieving handball, or that time it was Warner who's been terrific as well. But the centre bounce again here is killing North Melbourne.
Here they go. Jackson down to Bolton, gets away from McKercher, chips into the pocket. Paddy Voss. He marks 40 metres out, 45-degree angle from the, in inverted commas, dead pocket again.
Well, he just kicked one from the dead pocket. So, albeit not a set shot, but he's had a look. This one a little bit further out. Used to be nice playing the 3-0 forward line today. Ran up.
They only count their goals as a team. The forward line, Tracy, Amos, and Voss. So Kicked 6 between them today.
Was Lloydie like that when you played with him, Rummer?
Yeah, not sure about that. That's the public message. I'm not sure about that in the locker room.
Patrick Voss.
Oh, he's got it.
He's bringing the dead pocket to life.
What dead pocket?
14 consecutive goals for the Dockers. And this is ugly for North. Fremantle by 89 points. 19-5, 119. Plays 4-6-30. 2.5 minutes into the final term.
I kicked the ball to Lloydie for his second ton in 2001.
Right.
Yeah, all the memorabilia and the like that Lloydie would have...
Nothing.
Not so much as a firm handshake.
Not even a beer.
Not even a coffee.
Not even a beer.
Or a Bacardi Breezer.
Exactly.
Huh?
Exactly. He was pretty good, Lloydie. He was quite a generous man.
That's another goal out of the centre bounce, though, isn't it?
They've just dominated out of the centre bounce.
Did you get off the ground, or were you just lapping it up with all the people that ran
I went in there, and the first one, I was right in the thick of it.
Yep.
And I couldn't get out. The second one, I got in there, well done, and then got straight out.
Back in the middle. Fremantle, it's incredible the way they've taken over this game. So they've now kicked 14 consecutive goals after North drew within 6 points in the second term. And Fremantle out of the middle again. O'Driscoll to Brayshaw, straight up the pipe, and Paddy Voss has got it again.
Can't do this.
Well, that's a worry. That's a real worry for North Melbourne, where you're getting, as you said there, Corb, a lead up the pipe. But that's where you want your numbers to converge there, so you have to force them wide. But here, it's that little O'Driscoll kick back into the centre.
But it's poor method again, out of the centre square at time. All attracted to the footy. Brayshaw smart, snuck out the back. And 3 in 3 minutes here. This would be something else.
Well, Saturday's a big day for the Ponies, and there's none hotter at the moment than Paddy Voss. And misses. Makes it 90 points, the lead for Fremantle. Voss has kicked the only 2 goals of this final term, which is only 4 minutes old. And now he's got it behind 4.
Needs to get his pony back on, doesn't he?
Short kick to the pocket for Parker. He gives it back to Caleb Daniel. Goes back to Parker. High kick up to up towards the wing, and Sherry juggles the mark. Fremantle by 90 points, a 50-metre penalty as well. First little slack moment for a while out of the Dockers. Nearly 5 minutes into the fourth term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Sherry marched up the wing. He's off his line clearly, but Bolton in the concrete boots on the mark can't move. Kicks out wide to Simpkin, who kicks really wide for Stevens, just finds him. Stevens veers out to his left. Sets it up towards full forward. Sherry's down there, doesn't quite hold on to the mark. Warner, he's wrapped up quickly by Sherry and Curtis. Ball up virtually full forward for North Melbourne.
So we tick past the hour mark since North Melbourne's last goal. And repeat stoppages here in the forward 50 for North.
Oh, they're spending the week there, aren't they? It's not like they can go straight to the airport and get out of there. So they want to put in a decent 15 minutes here, the Kangas.
Sherry trying to get a hand pass away to O'Driscoll. His hand pass for the Dockers to Bolton. The ball's held to him and a ball up again. 14 straight goals for Freo. Free kick, high tackle, North inside their forward 50, and big Tristan Sherry's going to get it right forward pocket, and he'll have a look here to try and break the hour-long drought.
Well, only be his second kick for the day. He's been well and truly beaten Big X. See if he can salvage something here. It's just been, you can see it right from the very first bounce. It's not a great matchup for him, Luke Jackson. I mean, he's not alone there, is he?
After more than an hour of footy, Sherry misses, and the goalless drought continues.
The matchup for Sherry's Sean Darcy.
89 points, Fremantle's lead. We are 6.5 minutes into the final term. North's last goal at the 7-minute mark of the second quarter.
Clark short to the pocket for McVie, who kicks it too wide, trying to get it to Oscar McDonald. And they've nicknamed Porter at the club. Short for Porterhouse, his brother Tom McDonald, the big T-bone, so he's the smaller cut of meat.
That's not bad.
Pretty well thought out by the Dockers there. Paulie not so much of a fan. Simpkin roves the pack. Handball back towards the wing. Caught there, Parker has to try and get it on the boot. Not in time, holding the ball. Amos with a good tackle. He'll get the free kick. Backward of the wing here for the Dockers. Eastern side of the ground. 89 points to the good. Comes to Bolton. Kicks up to Voss. He's got hot. Drops the mark. Gathers on the bounce. Wants to fend offload. Sits him on his backside. He'll kick it from the dead pocket. It's across the face, and Zerha, he could have marked, but he just swats it through. Fremantle by 90 points. Ray Chamberlain.
I did very much like that holding the ball free kick from the hospitality mogul himself, Lee Fisher. Player Luke Parker, no prior opportunity, but spun around and around. That's more than reasonable time. Good free kick.
I'm with you. Thanks, Ray. And there's Comben from the back pocket trying to get it out of defence, and Amos upstairs picks it off. A lad from the southwest of WA. Back in his neck of the woods, boy from Bustleton. Here in Bunbury today. Retreats back to Chapman. Chapman goes short. Again, it's in Fremantle's hands to Erasmus. A game-high 90-point lead. 14 straight goals for the Dockers. Erasmus kicks inside 50. Intercept mark for Davies Uniacke.
Hasn't been his day. Luke only coming up for 16 possessions here. Midfield group has been well beat.
And 2 clearances. Short kick finds Fisher. Surprise return this week, in for his first game since round 16 last year. Got it on to Simpkin. Simpkin dabs a kick down the wing. An ill-directed kick, intercepted by Reid. And pass away towards Tracy, a rare fumble. A man with the sticky hands. Picked up by Wardlaw, Kangas with it, gives it to Parker. Dangerous kick. O'Driscoll awake to it. Intercepts. He's out downhill. O'Driscoll eyes the sticks. The kick from Nathan O'Driscoll fades out to the right.
It's been good. O'Driscoll, 19 possessions.
Just speed to burn.
We just got to replay it. Paddy Voss's fend off, don't argue.
And then he stared him down.
He stared him down when he's pushed him.
Awesome. Short kick from Logue to the pocket to McDonald. That's Luke McDonald onto Constanti. Constanti chips it over the top. Chapman right there with Darling. Vice-like grip from the former. Fremantle by 91 points. Short kick away to Spargo. Spargo pokes it onto Parker. And moves it on to Spargo again. Spargo lifts it over the top. Away towards Wardlaw, who will run a little U-turn and then turn it over. Alex Pearce, intercept mark, centre-half back for the Dockers, or just inside the centre square.
Gee, they've done a lot of that North since they fell behind a short kicking game in the back half and reluctance to go forward, and then when they do, turn it over.
They haven't wanted to take territory.
Nah.
When you're under pressure, it's like, well, let's get it as far away from the opposition's goal as possible.
As Bolton lost his seat going up to take the mark, and the tunnelling free kick given away. Luke McDonald commits that, and Bolton takes it hurriedly away to Erasmus. Kicks inside 50. Amos out on the lead. Marks right half forward. He's going to go back and give the umpire a hand to set the mark. He'll have a kick from about 40 metres out right half forward. Ray Chamberlain.
Real great work from the miss there. I'm sure that Dr. Harry Birch needs all the help he can in setting up a mark.
Is he Dr. Harry?
Full-fledged. Turns up in his scrubs and cops plenty of feedback too.
Wow.
It's like, righto, Harry, we get it. You're a doctor.
Well, he's taken more of a support role today in this, but opportunity here in the last quarter just to get on the end of a few. He kicked one.
Jai Amos.
Their leading goal kicker extends the Fremantle advantage. The margin is out to 97 points, and it's 15 unanswered goals for Freo. 28-1-28, North Melbourne 4-7-31. A dozen minutes into the final term, Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
It's felt like a 100-point around.
Oh, yeah.
It's been that sort of day.
But you see here, like, who took the mark just at half forward? So that's Erasmus. Well, Dudley, you could have went to Dudley.
Yeah, had options everywhere.
Dudley's got no opponent running inside forward 50. So, again, I know I'm harping on the same thing with North Melbourne, but for a team that's meant to be past the development stage, it's just incredibly ordinary. Don't mind that kicking action.
Yeah, nice. Given they've taken the game, it is embarrassing. Given they've taken the game there, they're coming off the bye, they're there for the week, they're there for 2 weeks. Just non-competitive, really, after, 15 minutes in that first quarter.
O'Meara picks it up off the deck from the restart, tumbles it inside 50, and a free kick going to Tracy. So Fremantle will have another shot on goal. If he kicks this, they'll go past their highest score of the year. And they've become a team that can really pile on the pain, which they have never been.
Fremantle have only had 3 100-point wins in the club history. So one was in 2023 over the Eagles when they were going no good. 2013 against the Giants, their biggest ever win, 113 points. And then they beat Collingwood by 112 back in 2005. That's it.
Tracy comes in, his drop punt makes it sweet 16. 16 unanswered goals for the Dockers. They lead by triple figures, 103 points, 21-8, 134 plays, 4-7-31, 13 minutes into the fourth term.
Well, if it is that team mentality of this forward pack for the Dockers, it's been a great example of it today, hasn't it? So Tracy kicks 4, Voss 3, could have had more, 3 goals 4. Switkowski's done his bit, Frederick, Amos, Murphy Reid, and then Luke Jackson with that hybrid ability. It's as powerful forward line as there is in the competition at the moment, clearly. And I just love that their discipline, as you said. You know, if it's not their day, they'll roll up their sleeves and do the dirty work. They'll chase, they'll tackle to a man. It's a really high standard that they've built down there, and it's a joy. It's been a joy to watch today.
Mason Cox leaps up, wins the hit out in front of Davies Uniacke, though, who wins it. He's almost defensive edge of the centre square now. Hand pass, gets it back going in the right direction. Sheasel gave it back to Davies Uniacke, left it behind. Sheasel mops it up. North with it. Hand pass out to Curtis. Kicks wide for Dersma. Who marks. Hit down to Rain just a moment as Dersma with the long kick inside 50. Darling comes from the back. No mark, hits the deck, taken by LDU, tackled, taken to ground. Ball up, half forward for the Roos. Ray.
Yeah, Borley mentioning the dirty work that undertaken by the Freo Dockers. Just a little bit of work that I've been really impressed with the umpires today. Big, long mid-ground and lots of sort of space in that mid-zone where the umpires need to squeeze up and help each other out. It was a support free kick from the pigeon trainer himself, Andrew Heffernan, in that marking contest from Tracy. It was really good for umpire system.
Going to need to pick that up as the Dockers go through the middle. Young. Kick from the centre circle, and Jackson on the back lead. He marks 25 out directly in front.
I tell you what, there is a lot of Fremantle fans who are obviously impatient as they would be, having waited 30-plus years for a flag. But even on this 11-game win streak, they came from behind to beat the Hawks and the Pies. They didn't put teams away like the Blues, the Bombers and the Lions. And a lot of Freo fans were saying, how come we can't put our foot on the throat and really drive home the advantage? Well, boy, they've done that today.
Well, I think you look at the ladder, the Swans have been able to do that. Think about the Swans, so they've got 20% on them. Well, it'll be interesting to see where this lands today. This is a real opportunity to bolster that percentage, and what a passage of play that was.
Luke Jackson kicks his third. 17 unanswered goals. UGLY for North Melbourne. 22-8, 140 plays, 4-7-31. Freo by 109.
It's hands and heels too for the Dockers since half time. This was last week, wasn't it?
Yeah. What does hands and heels mean?
Easy. No whip required, mate.
That's horse racing terms.
Okay, I see.
Yes.
And they're at Hands Oval too, so I thought you might have.
I like it
anyway. The same footage. Was that was last week, wasn't it?
Nat Fife.
Their favourite son.
In the rooms, he's living up that way near Byron. So in the rooms after that win, South-East Queensland against the Lions, an incredible scoreline. It's not often you see in modern footy a team kick 17 unanswered goals. And they're doing it against a 5-6 team in North Melbourne. The Kangaroos aren't meant to be some lowly bottom-of-the-table team anymore.
This is... I think today says a lot more about North Melbourne than Fremantle.
Freo are good, and North Melbourne continue their rocks and diamonds season.
Fremantle simply just haven't been tested at all today.
Cox palms it down. Out in front of Dill Stevens for North, who hand pass back inboard. McKercher and Young. McKercher handles it, but tackled by Wagner.
Won't need many ice packs after the game. Remember, we'll in the Dockers' rooms today.
A few of them might go for a run after the game.
Sheasel.
Young's been terrific.
Young bowls over his direct opponent, picked up by Switkowski. Hand pass over to Dudley. Dudley at high half forward, kicks into the pocket. Namus takes the mark.
Well, yeah, it's been a big positive, and I'd be surely that's enough. I'd be sending the runner out to Hayden Young. We've seen enough today. It's been a huge positive to see him back out there. Just too strong and physical there for Sheasel and Fisher. Switkowski, who must be said, such a quiet achiever. He's been terrific, hasn't he? Right from that first quarter, he was one of the ones that set it up. And as we said before, you would just love to be playing in this forward line, this Fremantle forward line today.
So Amos with his left peg against the boundary line. He misses everything to the near side. Tight angle. Crowd posted, by the way, 13,332. So betters last year's crowd. And with a small sample size of only 2 games, it's now the best attendance for an AFL game here.
It's a good crowd.
Simpkin kicks out wide to Stevens, gives it to Zerha, misses him with the return handball. Lasso free kick, Freo ball. Nathan O'Driscoll, 18 minutes into the 4th term. O'Driscoll kicks inside 50 and Amos has got it again.
And I say this, Corb, with the greatest amount of respect, but if Fremantle and North Melbourne are playing at the Docklands, is there many more than 13,500?
Yeah, that's a good point.
So they've made some money. All they've really done today, North Melbourne, is make money.
It's the only positive, really, isn't it?
Would they be more competitive under the roof?
Well, you'd hope so, but they've got to get past that.
They've got to be an anytime, anywhere team.
Amos with his left boot sends it on goal. It's across the goal mouth and punched through. Minor score. If he kicked that, Jai, there's 7 minutes of game time remaining. Freo's highest ever score is 180. I was going to pose the question whether they could threaten that, but it seems unlikely now. They lead by 110 points.
Highest winning margin, 113, is it?
Yep.
So that's in play.
Big time. North haven't kicked a goal since the 7-minute mark of the 2nd term. We're now 19 into the last. Margin at 110. Sheasel off the back flank. Kicks down the wing. Turnover taken by Luke Ryan for Freo. Hand pass to Erasmus. Handball goes back to O'Driscoll. Comes out of the shade. Kicks across the ground. Is Young. Hand pass away towards Carl Warner. Front edge of the centre square. Inside 50. Cox crashes the pack. Ball spills down to Dudley. Hand pass to the 50 for Brayshaw. Handball out to O'Meara. O'Meara scoops it up 40 metres out from goal. Decides to have a pig himself. Tangle on the behind line. Free kick.
He's getting it.
Amos.
Which way will it go? It's going Fremantle's way and Amos to get it. And Amos will get us a look from a similar spot. He's closer in from his missed moments ago. Essentially in front of that left-hand behind post tight angle.
Well, it was largely unsided in the first 3 quarters, Giant. Just kicked 1 goal, but again, this is the benefit of a game like this. He's really cashing in exactly in this last quarter. He should be his 4th shot at goal. Tough shot, wrong pocket for a left footer. What's he go with here, Ben?
Check side.
Outside of the left boot. He's going to go with the check side. Amos, he misses near side. And Lord Nelson, 111. The margin at the moment, Fremantle 111 in front, 22-10 to North 4-7. We're in time on in this final term. Fremantle's greatest winning margin, 113.
And Luke Ryan, a little sore on the bench as well. Ray to keep us across that one. Fremantle by 111. Stevens on the back flank, gives it off to Simpkin. Sweeps it back to Comben inside the defensive arc, takes on Dudley. Darts around him, kicks up towards the wing. Big marking contest there, and Trembath and Chapman, they halve it in the end. Chapman wins it at ground level. Docker's ball again. Backward of halfway, eastern wing. Chapman nearly run down, just gets his kick away and finds Dudley. Between wing and half forward. This wide surface area of this ground. Kicks out wide to O'Meara. Called to play on now. Has to get around Fisher. Caught. 2 men from nearly the same part of the world in WA. And Fisher is the man who wins on this occasion. He gets the free kick for North on the back flank. Fremantle by 111 points, 22 minutes into the 4th.
And North's number 11 got ambitious, tried to take on Bolton, caught.
Just a poor handball.
And Luke McDonald coughs it up. Free kick for Bolton between wing and half forward.
Another good day for Shea Bolton.
He kicks into the forward pocket here. Cox got hands to it, no mark. Hits the deck, close to the boundary line and now out.
25 possessions, 8 score involvements.
Well, the Purple Army strikes again. 31 years old now, so happy for my team. from Mary in South Bunbury. I was too slow to get tickets, but I can hear it all from my house 2 streets away. Thanks, Mary. Nice to hear from you. An enormous day for Fremantle. Can it be their biggest ever in terms of margin? 2 points away from that at the moment. 4:40 to play.
Who's that, Mary? Not too late. You reckon they'd throw the gates open?
Yeah,
Get down there
jump the fence.
Watch the last 5 minutes.
Jump the fence.
Have a kick after the game.
Mason Cox hooks it down to a dangerous spot. Full forward for Freo. Jackson left it behind. Young collects. Young hooks it through for a goal. It's 18 in a row for the Dockers. And as it stands right now, the biggest gap they've ever had on the scoreboard in an AFL game. 1:17 the difference. With 4 and a bit minutes to navigate. Fremantle 23-10. They lead North Melbourne 4-7.
Yeah, come off, Hayden. Come off. That'll do you. Nice return. What's he had? Yeah, he just snuck his way, really, to 23 possessions, 6 inside 50s, 8 score involvements, 2 goals himself. Again, way too easy. Forward stoppage. No arm across, no pressure at all. No effort to smother there, it must be said, Dylan Stevens.
They've got the basics of defence horribly wrong today, North Melbourne.
Oh, it's been non-existent, hasn't it, really? It's actually quite startling, to be honest, how non-competitive they've been for the majority of this game.
Well, their previous biggest win, 113 points in 2013 against GWS that we've been speaking about. 117 at the moment. Back in the middle, some kind of hold up here.
They've got a little tricky next 4, Fremantle. I think we really find out, are they genuine or not? So they got the bye, obviously, but then they go Geelong, Gold Coast, GWS. So
they got Sydney after that at home as well.
Yeah, so it's a good little patch where we're going to find out a lot.
6-6-6 free kick. They had a warning earlier on in the game, Ray.
That's it.
Kick out wide for North from Trembath. The warning was against Fremantle earlier in the game that I'm referencing. Trembath to Dersma to Fisher. Fisher from York and O'Meara from Dongara. That's what I was trying to remember when they went at one another. Wardlaw takes the mark, kicks infield and finds Comben. So North just in a kick mark game. His kick, nearly a turnover. Voss gets a hand on it, but Zurha are able to gather at ground level, floats his kick. That is a turnover. Fremantle take it back through Clark.
Goes straight up the pipe, finds Voss. Voss kicks inside 50. Murphy Reid marks on the shallow entry. He's got O'Driscoll tearing forward. Reid, in the end, decides to shoot goalward. He had other options, just barbecued all of them.
I think he confused himself, Murphy Reid.
And in the end, it's a behind. 118 Fremantle's lead, 25 gone in the final term. North goalless since the 7-minute mark of the second term.
No North player stood the mark, which I think confused him as well. So their great defensive efforts today just continued in that moment. I do apologise to North fans listening. There was a text earlier that said, thanks a lot, Ben. You're already down. You've brought up the Shinboner spirit.
I got one here from Liz saying, why can't Middlemass call the footy normally like the other guys? What a goose.
Only speaking the truth.
Fair enough. Each to their own. Appreciate all feedback.
They say it's a blessing.
Come on, Feathers.
It's a gift. Oh, it's a gift.
Erasmus just buffeted off his kick. Gathered there by Davies Uniacke, who gives it to Fisher. His kick a turnover. O'Meara intercept marks at centre-half back. Freo by 118 points. On track to be their biggest ever win in an AFL game.
I do enjoy that we can laugh at ourselves.
Yeah. Bill from Perth says, how would you rate Luke Jackson against Anthony Koutafidis?
Not a bad comp. He's taller again, isn't he?
Kuta might have had that bit more raw power, but in terms of skill and the like, Luke Jackson's right there with him.
Murphy Reid's inside 50, picked off by Parker, goes short to Davies Uniacke. Margin's 118 points Fremantle's way. 26 and a half gone final.
Remember when Kuta was really up and going? He took 18 marks in a game.
Yeah.
Wow. North get it out to the wing. Stevens stabs a kick short to Trembath.
Is that against Essendon?
No, that one wasn't.
Trembath goes laterally away to Daniel. Travelling to Geraldton to Perth. Oh, there's a turnover in the middle of the ground.
Shocking kick. Stubbed his toe on it. Ball ricochets away and gathered by Sheasel, tackled by Erasmus.
Travelling Geraldton to Perth. We're halfway at the Mill Roadhouse. Listening to the call. Come on, the Dockers. for some Eagles fans from David, Chris and Liz. Shout out to you guys on the road.
Is that the same Liz as before?
I assume not, unless the car trips turn pear-shaped. And Marcus in South Melbourne listening with a shin bone to make. Can you please ask Ray how the centreline rule works, as neither of us understand at all how it's meant to work.
Really simple. You can't jump from, you've got to jump from your side, and you can't go past the drop zone of the ball. So take off from your side, and you can't go across past the line of the ball. Does that make sense?
It's about the ball more than the line, which I think confuses people, doesn't it, Ray?
Well, that's right, because, theoretically, you're meant to throw it up straight. They don't always.
Kick on to Murphy Reid for the Dockers down the broadcast wing. He moves it on to Wagner. Wagner looks back infield, doesn't really like that, so set it up inside 50. Kangas have stopped to a walk. Kick to full forward off the hands of Tracy. O'Driscoll burst through a couple of them. Handball to Voss. Swings a snap through. 4 for Voss. 19 in a row for Fremantle. And it's going to be their biggest ever winning margin. 124 points. 24-11, 155. Plays 4-7-31. 28 minutes into the fourth term. Luke Ball, Adam Ramanauskas.
Good again, a good contest. Fumble by Stevens.
Missed tackle.
Yeah, missed tackle, and then you got 3 Dockers players lining up for a release handball. It's been damning for North, but it's a muscle flex, I think, by the Dockers. It's sort of like, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good. Our game's in really good working order at the moment. Defenders are really honest. Our midfield have dominated today. We've got unselfish forwards that care about each other and not how many goals they kick. It's working nicely for them.
Oh, another one.
66 warning.
Oh, the Kangaroos.
And on the Kangaroos this time. Margin 124. North's last goal, 7-minute mark, second term. And Fremantle have kicked the last 19 goals in the game. Sheasel gives a handball away towards LDU, who runs it out the front door of the centre square, kicks it deep forward, and Ryan picks it off. Inside the final minute, as Fremantle try to navigate these last few seconds, and what a shutout that would be to finish with 19 unanswered goals.
11th mark, Luke Ryan. Just another solid performance.
Short to Clark. Clark at fullback for the Dockers. Swings it out to the back flank. Finds Oscar McDonald. Chips it further afield to Bolton. 24-11 to 4-7. 124 the margin. Kicks to a one-on-one on the wing. Reid and Parker. Very different ages there. Parker knocks it down to Luke McDonald. Handball to Stevens. Kicks to half forward. Ball goes over the head of his intended target. Ryan intercepts. Gives a handball away towards Oscar McDonald. And McDonald heads down the wing to Bolton.
Bolton takes the mark on the wing. And he'll go back and retreat to Wagner. And he takes the mark. And he can call it Bunbury for Fremantle. Their biggest ever winning margin. 124 points to the good. 24-11, 155. Plays 4-7-31. A statement victory for the men in purple. Not sure the song's coming through that well here at Hands Oval. So Luke Ball and Adam Ramanauskas with Fremantle winning by 124 points.
Well, I think we focused on the winners, Rammer, and we came along today 11 in a row. In a competition that's designed to be competitive and tight. Anyone can win on any given day. We was keen to see how they go about it, what sort of intensity they bring. It was pretty evident from early in that first quarter, wasn't it, that they were here to play and meant business, and save for probably a 10-minute period where the Kangaroos gave a bit of a yelp in that second quarter. They shifted into gear, and it was just an absolute annihilation after that. And they go into their bye, sitting pretty. You spoke about it there. They're really well balanced. Everyone's very clear on their role. They've got a very powerful midfield, led by Jackson and Brayshaw. I thought today, in particular, they're great to see Hayden Young back into it. Bolton's having had another great game, continuing on his year, and then young Murphy Reid. But it's so Driscoll, it's Warner, Erasmus, McVee. What an addition he's been. Wagner. They all make a contribution, don't they? And then forward of the ball, I think, they're clearly the most potent forward line, an even forward line in the competition. Love how their key forwards present, play in front. There's always something, an option for their midfield to kick to, and then if they don't mark it, they'll get you at ground level. with those dangerous players. I'm just looking here that has stunned Alistair Clarkson. Really, it's hard to know what's going through his head, because whilst we can sing the praises of the number one team in the competition at the moment, that was as embarrassing a performance, really, after quarter time, as you'll see. Well, after 5 or 10 minutes of that second quarter, as you'll see from any team this year, really, just not competitive.
So more good Freo or bad Kangas? It's always a combination.
The latter,
of
I
both.
think.
I think the latter.
More bad Kangas.
Yeah. Solid, Freo really strong, but they were allowed to just do what they wanted today. As I said, no need for ice bags in the Freo rooms after the game today.
So they kicked 19 unanswered goals to finish the game. That's their longest ever streak of unanswered goals in a game. And now they're really lockstep in the top two, or locked into the top two is what I'm trying to say.
Big percentage booster. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So what's damning in this game? The stats sort of, okay, like +8 clearance, +6 centre bounce, +13 contested football. But then the problem for North Melbourne is +54 uncontested, 57 inside 50s for 35 scoring shots. They just simply didn't want to defend. Now, okay, they're a very good team, Fremantle, no doubt. But you've got to be hard to play against as an opposition. Now, from the 7-minute mark of the second quarter, North Melbourne was simply so easy to play against. But there was no pressure, there was no physical pressure, there was nobody that wanted to change momentum within the game. It just makes it really, really hard then to compete for long periods of time. So, Bally and I mentioned it a number of times. Fremantle are going to walk off the ground today, and there'll be no ice packs or anything like that. It'll be, jump in the shower, have a wash, and put the clothes on and just go home.
No sweat win.
No, that's right.
They look like a team limping into a bye, the Kangaroos, not one that should be springing out of it off the back of a big win, real home against the Gold Coast.
Enthusiasm.
That's right. Look, okay, they've travelled over there, but again, off the bye, and this is their home game, so they really want to embrace that. I think Alistair Clarkson said as much during the week and before the game, and to put up that level of effort was just really surprising. I think I said before the game, I hope we might erase that little table. I said it might have been a banana peel game for the Dockers, but again, from about, as you said, 7 minutes of that second quarter, it was an absolute cakewalk.
They played the game the right way, the Dockers.
Yeah, they're tough too, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's a Docker dozen. 12 in a row for Fremantle. They sit on top of the premiership table. They're now 3.5 games clear in the top two.
Well, I was going to say, what are we saying for top four? 15 wins, 16 wins?
Yeah, something like that.
So then for top two would probably be 17 wins, we would
17,
say?
18?
Yeah.
But, I mean, to be 3.5 games clear of third is a huge advantage. Obviously, we know the benefit that comes with being a top two team, and when the Eagles had success out of Perth, a lot of those years they're finishing top two and making the most of those two home finals. Just to tie a bow on the day, Fremantle led by 13 points at quarter time. There were actually 3 lead changes in the first half of footy. Freo by 13 at quarter time, 54 at the half, 77 at three-quarter time, and 124 in the finish. The longer it went, the worse it got. The goal kickers from a Fremantle point of view, 4 for Voss, 4 for Tracy, and then 3 goals for Jackson and for Switkowski, 2 goals for Murphy Reid, Jai Amos, Hayden Young and Michael Frederick. Meanwhile, singles for Neil Erasmus and Isaiah Dudley. It was an enormous day for Fremantle. Meanwhile, for North Melbourne, their goal kickers didn't change after the 7-minute mark in the second term. Wardlaw, Larkey, Darlene and Trembath all with 1 each. The Kangaroos now 5 and 7, a humiliating defeat in Bunbury. They're home away from home. Meanwhile, for Fremantle, they're 12 and 1, top of the tree. It's the all-new world, isn't it, for the Dockers? They've never had a day like it with a 124-point win, and they may just have never had a team quite like it as the premiership.
Yeah, and I think the defence, and we know that Justin Longmuir is a defence-first coach. That'll be the most pleasing thing. Okay, they kick a big score, and they were allowed to do that, and they were dominant around clearance and around the midfield, but they've kept them to 2 points after that 7-minute mark of the second quarter on a pretty nice day, nice conditions. So they were ruthless. They kept it was the old foot on the throat. So I think that'll be the most pleasing thing. As you said, Paul, we haven't seen them do that this year or for some time. So and that was all over the ground, not just the back six. You could tell their high forwards sniffing a turnover, sniffing pressure. To a man, I thought their defensive intent really well. They showed their opposition the level that it needs to be. Bit of Mason Cox time.
There's a bloke down there, by the way, that's got a Brigham University hat on.
Love
it. Go the Cougs, and he's got an American flag. So taking a photo with Mason Cox, BYU fan. 124-point win, Fremantle, their biggest winning margin ever in club history. Ray, I don't know how you're going trying to get one of the boys, but huge win for the Dockers today. What impressed you most?
Well, honestly, I can't get over how even they are all across the ground. You talk about how big they are and how strong they are, but it wasn't just the Vosses and the Tracys and these sorts of guys, you know. You had their small forwards like Dudley and that. He had a couple of really fierce, brave, put your body on the line contests. So no one's taking any shortcuts at Fremantle. And as Bally said throughout the call, you don't want to give your spot up now, turning the corner and heading towards September. They've got a real genuine chance this year, and so no one will be missing any dotting of I's or crossing of T's. They're a real threat for Fremantle Dockers.
How'd the third team out there go today, the Team Green?
No, I'll be honest with you, I really liked it. It was an eclectic mix. We had one of Bayside's finest in Lee Fisher, and he's got one of the greatest cafes. If you're down around Hampton, get around to the Cornerstone Cafe. It's a beauty. And then, of course, we had the Doctor.
I don't think we do that on the air.
We had all the other cafes are great too.
No, but the point around of it all is the mix, mate. So we had a doctor, we had a part-time hand model, and we had a pigeon trainer, which I didn't get a chance to really unpack today. Maybe we will later on in the year, but I thought they were terrific and they did their job and they can go home.
I like it, Ray. Good work. They don't let you out on the green stuff, but Ruby Schleischer's out there and she's got Paddy Voss, courtesy of Fox Footy.
Coming down to Bunbury, the atmosphere out here was unbelievable. So yeah, really good. Great outing by the Purple Army. There was I think I saw 13,000 here. So awesome to come down here. Hopefully we get another opportunity to come.
Personally, you were sort of fired up early. You had the ripped jumper, which got changed at quarter time. How are you enjoying sort of a little bit of this villain arc? I think they're saying. I mean, we're loving watching you play, but you've got to be honest. Defenders would be hating you.
I don't think opposition fans are liking me too much either. I've been confident a little bit, but as long as our fans are enjoying what I'm doing, I'm happy, and as long as the boys and the coach are happy with what I'm doing, I'm super pumped to just be playing in this team and be winning games of footy.
Do you feel like it fuels your game a bit as well when you are up and about like that and getting stuck into the opposition? It does just get you a bit up and about?
Yeah, 100%. I think the physicality side of it really, I like to dive into that a little bit, and that gets me into the game. The chirp sort of stuff, I think that just takes away energy from your role and that sort of thing. So I've tried to tone down the chirp side of things, and the physicality side of things I can up a little bit. So
well, from the sideline, it doesn't look like you're toning down the chirp that much, but we appreciate you trying. Talking physicality, you ran through George Wardlaw. Talk me through your moment with Griff Logue, the fend off, and then you've stared him down with ball in hand while you're running a million miles an hour.
Yeah, I actually know Griff pretty well, so we were back and forth all day, and it was good to get one on him.
The timing's superb. Thanks to Fox Footy for that chat with Paddy Voss, Ruby Schleischer out there, and then Ray just ducking the microphone in the room. So nice to be able to hear the boys pump out the song. Fremantle by 124 points, their biggest win in club history.
Justin Longmuir in the song as well. I'm fairly certain he doesn't normally go in there and sing the song, so possibly because it's his AFL Life membership 300th game as a player and a coach, he's got in there and sung the song with the boys. Lots of congratulations of Justin Longmuir. Now, well done to JL.
3 minutes before we're off air, and if you're in the ACT, you're off to the NRL. If you want to keep listening to the AFL, you can find it, of course, all streamed through ABC Listen. For everybody else, we're off to the Q-Clash, the rematch of last year's semi-final, the Gold Coast Suns and the Brisbane Lions, the two-time reigning premiers. Fascinating game for them on a 3-game losing skid. So we'll take you there shortly, but before then, the votes, the ABC Footballer of the Year.
1 to Paddy Voss, 20 possessions, 4 goals, 15 score involvements. He also had 560 metres gained as a key forward. 2 to Luke Jackson. I thought, when the game was alive, he was incredibly influential the way he went about it. He ended up with 19 possessions, 3 goals.
Sat on the bench for most of the last
13 score involvements. And then I gave 3 to Andy Brayshaw. 30 possessions, 10 score involvements himself, 9 clearances, 13 contested. The list went on for him. So, again, I thought when the game was alive, He was terrific,
Big
Andy
second
Brayshaw.
quarter. Yeah.
A couple more off the SMS. Josh in Ballarat. It's very complimentary. Appreciate that. He's going for a Freo Swans grand final. We heard it here first. Thanks, Josh. Appreciate that. From Rowan in Maryborough, watching Voss in career best form for the premiership favourites less than 3 years after being delisted by Essendon. Reminds us that beggars could not only be choosers, but idiots as well. From Rowan in Maryborough. It's very strong feedback today. Dave in Lonnie, who's never far away from some critical comments too, has got involved on the SMS. So he's never too far away, Dave, from sending through his feedback to. He's a grumpy man. Grumpy man. 0437 774 774 is the SMS number. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. That'll continue on. Thanks to you, Bally. It's been a big day.
Big day.
AFL Saturday 2-hour edition, and then all the footy, and what a performance by Freo.
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, we've got a... well, if it was any doubt, we've got a clear premiership favourite, I think, and absolutely earning that title at the moment. So, very impressive.
Thanks to you, Ram.
Well done. See you next week.
We will. Pretty impressive, the Dockers in a dominant performance. What fun. AFL footy ban at Hands Oval in Bunbury.
Let's go have a kick.
Yep. On the ground. This is a great way to do it. Everyone's out there enjoying the sunshine. Thanks to Ray Chamberlain for all of his work throughout the afternoon. To Stuart Birchmore as well, who's held it all down for us from a technical point of view, placed it together. And Craig Davis, of course, in the studio, who's putting this musical track up in the background and cutting all our audio for us this afternoon. He's an absolute guru. That's us done. Fremantle by 124 points. Their biggest win in club history for the premiership favourites. The Dockers with a dominant victory. Goodbye from Bunbury.